Security Boss. Listen, guys, I'm coming to you with something new and very exciting. It's called I Choose You. Yes, it's a new dating show, and we want all of you to get excited about it. Yes, it is a dating show. It's going to be a virtual dating show. We want all you bachelors and your bachelorettes to get excited about it. So stay tuned for I Choose You.
Driving around in California, looking for something to make me stay. Round and round forever searching for something that could never get replaced. Don't need you to save me, but I just really need to be saved. I'm just so sick of waiting for any luck to come my way. Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Unsolicited, and I am Security Boss. So listen, guys, welcome to SB Nation. I hope everybody is having an outstanding Tuesday. It is raining like crazy in my area, but I hope it's good in yours. But either way, it ain't going to do nothing bad to us. We good over here. We're happy. We're joyful. We're excited to be here. It seems like I hadn't been in front of you in a long time. We're doing this Tuesday thing just to see how it works. And it seems like it's been a long time since I've said hello. I don't know. What y'all think? So listen, I definitely want to know what you all think about having Tuesday. I'm doing this live on Tuesday. I do. But before we begin, I'm going to bring up my co-host, Blackman Unfiltered. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm sunshine, partly cloudy, man. You know, just I know y'all dealing with a lot of rain over there. We dealt with it last night. It was a huge storm here last night, but tornado sirens going off.
That's it. Tornadoes. We haven't had any sirens, but we've been having some funnel clouds and all of that and raining like crazy.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Y'all be safe, please. Lord.
Yeah, it's on the other side though, but you know how it is. It's close enough that we get enough rain for everybody, but you know, I'm sure it'll be okay. So let's just say hello to a couple people. You know, some of our SB Nation folks, fam favorites. A senior. Hello, how are you? Big Bad Bull, what's going on? Big Bad Bull, I want to tell you so much. I appreciate your comments so much from the other day. I really, really appreciate you. Not that I don't appreciate all the members of SB Nation and all my supporters. I do, but that was very heartfelt and I received it. Mel, how are you? Mr. Steele, how you doing? Listen, guys, if I haven't said it enough, I'm going to, you know what? We're going to have to remember this. I'm going to stop the show and I'm going to say, I need some thumbs up, y'all. I need some likes because I forget to say it all the time. And I forget, we have to remind people of what to do. Emmanuel, hello, how are you? So remember, guys, when you're coming into the live, make sure you're giving us a thumbs up. My co-host here is well on his way to 1,000 subscribers. And we need for you to go over to Blackman Unfiltered. Subscribe to the channel. These are just things I need for y'all to do.
Appreciate that.
Over here at SB Nation, we try to put on an excellent show without all the wrath, the yelling, the talking over. We hope it looks visually good to you. So listen, just for that, I would love for you all just to support me in what I say, meaning go over to Blackman, hit that subscribe button. When you come in here, giving me the thumbs up and just thank you for your continued support. Big Cap, hello. Auntie Boss, he called me Auntie Boss. Jenny, hello. How are you? Thank you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, see, he got the thumbs up. Thank you, Emmanuel. I hope you're doing well. Emmanuel, they be getting on you, I tell you, but I'm for you, Emmanuel. I understand you. You and I are right here. I understand you. I really, really do. Jenny, thank you for being here. So listen, Blackman, what's going on in your world? I know you've been on it. What you been seeing around here lately?
My Lord. So earlier today, for all those believers out there, earlier today, one of the lady spoke. And when I say the lady, I know we're tired of hearing her name, but Sister Jada spoke today.
Oh, wow.
And Sister Jada said to someone, not on a live interview, but as a phone, the journalists call them, whatever. And she said that she regrets what Will did. Right. And so the first part of that, I was like, oh, okay. But then she followed up by saying, I regret what he did, but because I don't need protection.
Right.
I don't need him to protect me.
Right.
How does that make Will feel?
Well, you know what? Listen, let me first say, hello, Mr. C. Bolo, how are you? Glad that you all could be here. Listen, I'm not gonna, let me just say this. I'm gonna be with you a little later on tonight on your live. So we're not gonna talk about it too much because I have a difference in opinion about all of this. Okay. So I'm gonna save it for you later on. But I'm glad that you are, bringing us up to date on what the young lady said, because that's not the fact that you said that, or the fact that she says that, kind of makes my thoughts even more real. But Mel says Jada's toxic. Okay, she may be. Me and Jada ain't never hung out, so I couldn't really tell you. I couldn't really tell you though. I just want to make sure. Anyway, we're not going to talk about it. Is there anything else? But listen. Oh no, you go ahead, because I want to ask you about something. You go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think, because something else happened. So the deletions in Sacramento. What is going on in Sacramento, California?
That's what I was getting ready to ask you. But wait a minute. Did you see who they arrested for? Okay, do you know anything about these deletions? Because it was kind of 6 of them. Wait a minute.
I saw the video. Did you see the video?
Listen, I'm a little bit lost on this. I saw that they done arrested one young man. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying they said he deleted 6 folks. Yeah. But I'm thinking, now this wasn't at a school, right?
No.
This was just at some random
2-3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody coming out the club, and he just
yeah. And we don't know why he did this.
No, you don't know.
Okay, I did. You know what? That's what I was going to ask you about. Did you know anything about that? Because I'm thinking to myself, hey, this right here, this is weird, because I didn't,
Yeah, I mean, people. I mean,
yeah, we're gonna have to read into that one. I don't know what's going on with that. So, Bethany, hello.
Bethany, hey.
It's been a while. I mean, yeah, you know what? Since we didn't do yesterday, does it feel like we haven't been here a long time?
It does. It does. Because yesterday I was like, Lord, what am I gonna do on this Monday? I
don't know if I like it or not. And then on Sunday, I didn't do anything on Sunday either.
You've been at the game for at least 48 hours.
I know. It feel like, dang, like, did y'all miss me? Did y'all miss me? I hope y'all missed me. But I'm here. BB backup joint. Hey, okay. So listen, the topic of tonight's show is. Mm-hmm. Can we be too protective of our marriages? Now, you know where this is coming from, right?
Yep.
So let's just go back a little bit and give a little history. Y'all, we're going to take a moment, though, because we're going to let everybody know when you're coming into the live, make sure you give us the thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Do it. Thank you so much for that. Also, I didn't mention it, but you know how we do here. We do all the super chats, but in order to get the Moneyline song, it's $9.99. $9.99 super chats will get you the Moneyline song. And guess what, guys? I appreciate all your support. Listen, Mr. Boss puts it together. Blackman completes it, and we have a good show. So if you love our show and like the interactions, you know what? Support us. Definitely support us. But first off, give us the thumbs up as you come in. But anyway,
before we get started, can I say something too?
Absolutely.
You look stunning tonight.
Well, thank you. It's green my color. I was wondering.
Yeah, you look stunning tonight. And also, I would like to let me go there. Let him get that out. And also, Mr. Boss in the background. Guys, listen, man, this is important. If you're looking for an example of where you want to be and who you can be, if you only take a moment to just change your ways or alter yourself just a little bit, this is what you want to look at. You see the beautiful security boss on the camera, but you see her king behind the camera, keeping an eye on her and covering her. So guys, this is the example. All right. We're not going to get away from it. No matter what these other content creators say about marriage and how horrible it is. These are veterans in the game, and we should be following them. So hit that like button, subscribe button, because they are the example. Get away from that trash and come over here and enjoy some treasure. Peace.
Thank you so much. That was a good commercial. Now listen, this is only if you want this. Now, if you want to, I always said, if you want to live hard, have a hard life, do what you want to do. Marriage is not perfect, but it is what you make it. So you got to make it something. You have to choose every day how you want to be. You could be unhappy, sad, full of anger, just a whole lot of stuff, or you can make it work, right? So
Exactly.
that's what we choose. Listen, Aticia, I hear you've been showing out today, girl. I hear you have it, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So anyway, today's topic is, can you be overprotective, or can you be too protective of your marriage, right? So it came from on Saturday. I was actually on a panel, and I'd be stirring up stuff because I've been saying this as long as I've been on YouTube, that I don't do single girlfriends. Now, listen, let me just, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying, because I think maybe people they pick up stuff and they run with it. Listen, I don't do single girlfriends because I am in protect mode of my marriage and the influence that single individuals, men and women, would bring into the relationship is not healthy for a marriage relationship. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't hate single women. I don't hate them at all. I love them. I wish they all could have whatever they wanted. I wish they could have what I have. Not exactly. I mean, the equivalent on the other side, meaning their own man. But whatever it is they want, I desire them to have it. I'm just saying to you, the influences from other people could impose on your marriage relationship. So I've been saying that since I've been in these spaces, and I guess I just don't get an opportunity to explain myself completely. So I just leave it as I don't do single girlfriends. And, people just like, oh my God, you done had some trauma in your life. I promise you, I haven't, not in that area. So it's just nothing. I don't hate women. I love women. Like I said again, I want them all to be happy and successful in whatever it is they want. But like I've said before, the influences that it can have on your mind. Now, we were having the panel on Saturday over at Sir Hell Speaks. Sir Hell, shout out to you.
Sir Hell Speaks.
We were having the conversation. Over there, and it started out with the single girlfriends and just my reasoning for not wanting to entertain that part of my life. Till it goes all the way over to the men cheating. What part do they have in this? Wait a minute. I never said anybody was cheating. Right. We didn't go that far. I'm not even taking it that far. I'm just talking to you about the reasons why I don't allow single influences in my marriage. That was it. So it brings us to the topic that we are here today. Can you be too protective of your marriage? What do you think about that?
I don't think you. I think that you can be. I think you can be protective. Jedi Mike, my guy.
Jedi Mike, Canadian born. Hello, how y'all doing?
Number one. But no, so Canadian. I'm sorry, but I think you can. I think there's no such thing. Let me tell you why.
Yes.
I think it's no such thing. But I think but you have to control your emotions at the same time. So, like Mr. Boss, he loves you, right?
Right.
He loves you. He cares for you. He covers you. So there's no such thing as him being overprotective, because he's a man. He's your covering. So he's supposed to protect you in every season, every day. Every day he wakes up and sees your face, you're under his protection. So there's no such thing as overprotection. What happens is sometimes when someone offends our wife, right? If someone offends our wives, what happens is the emotions take over, right? And then it can look like it's overprotection when we grabbing somebody and chunking them across the room, or dragging them outside, or being violent, because that's what men go to first. Men choose violence, and a large majority of them choose violence. And I think it's, when we learn self-control and knowing how we can control ourselves in front of our women, around our women, and know, hey, this guy's just talking, that's fine. But if he come up and grab security boss and be like, hey, boo, brr, he got to get that work.
He got to be dealt with right there on the spot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I don't think that's overprotective, though. I think that's not necessary.
That's under the umbrella of your protection. Exactly.
Absolutely. But you know what? I have to go further, because I tell my husband all the time, and he knows this, I protect him. If I hear somebody, yeah, no, I don't play that. If I hear somebody saying something, my husband's like a gentle giant type guy. He don't get into all that talking and all that conversing. So if somebody's saying something that I take to be a little bit off, I may say, look, no, you can't talk. You know how some people tell jokes and they think it's just funny, but it might be a little shade.
Right.
I check the shade. You don't get to be shady about my man.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I checks the shade and I said, nah, you can't do that, because it used to be in our little couples group. Hold on, let me do this super chat. Emmanuel, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. Emmanuel, you're trying to get it started off with the Money Line song. Give me mine.
Going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Emmanuel is crazy. Emmanuel said, I hear that if you want to be a woman and you want to be security boss friend, you better find your man and walk down the altar. No single friends over here. I am very protective of my marriage and man. You better know it. Listen, it's only fair. Listen, people don't understand this, guys. It's real simple. I mean, it's so small. It could be so small and minute, but we just take it as for granted, right? Because you have things like music. You know how music can get in your head and make you act stupid, right?
Exactly.
Hello, Harrison Family Values. So if music can make you act stupid, you got a single girlfriend here. I gave the examples of how if your single girlfriend calls you and she's complaining about her boyfriend. Now, I ain't gonna say complaining about her boyfriend. I'm saying complaining about her going out. The other girls, they went out, right?
Right.
So they called me and they was like, girl, we went out tonight. They telling me how it was at the male review, the strip club, how long the man's penis was and how he picked them up and tossed them around. As a married woman, do I need to hear that?
No.
Do I want to hear that?
No.
Because the first thing I do when me and Mr. Boss get into an argument, I'm going to be thinking, you know what? Maybe I might need to be at the club tonight with the girls. That's not...
I know that's right, Mr. Boss. I know that's right, Mr. Boss. Hit it again.
That is not something that you want in your marriage relationship. So I don't think you can ever be too protective, but I do see what you're talking about. But to me, that's a little bit different, because if I would tell my husband, or we would have these discussions, I would say, honey, you would never want to defend me in a way. If somebody's talking with their mouth, you get up and go hit them or try to keep, we can leave. I expect you to grab me and let's go. That's him being protective. Now, I do know some people will think that, yeah, you could be overprotective and it's controlling because you can't do this and you can't. That's not what we're talking about. So let's get it straight. Can you be overprotective of your marriage? I don't think so, because you're trying to save your marriage or the pureness, the wholeness, the foundation. You don't want anything to seep in there and get into the middle of your marriage. And the only way you can do that is to stand on guard.
And it's all protection. It's all protection.
It's all protection.
It's just a time and place for everything.
It definitely is.
If someone says something as security boss, then I may say, hey, listen, calm down. This is Auntie security boss. Even if I'm not your husband, even if I'm around you and Mr. Boss, and Mr. Boss is over there paying for the food or doing something else, and someone says something out of the way, even it's my responsibility to say, hey, whoa, hey, you out of line, bro. And we move on. There's no reason for me to snatch him up. Now, however, if he come up and slap security boss on the butt and say, girl, I saw you on YouTube. We're going to tear the whole restaurant up, because
we're going in.
Because at that point you put your hands on her. And I think that you can't put your hands on her. That don't work.
That's straight violation. So,
exactly.
So do you think, so are you saying you can be overprotective or not?
No, you cannot be. It's
Okay.
just a time and place for it.
Okay. So listen. You gave an example on Saturday, I think it was, and I hope you can talk about it and it's okay, of how somebody was trying to slide into your marriage situation. Let me do this super chat. Luke Casely, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. And she's got the little pair character lifting some weights saying, keep it up. Thank you. But you gave an example of how someone was trying to ruin your marriage relationship, and it was someone very near and dear to you all. Tell me, Do you think that your wife wasn't being protective enough, or how did you think this happened? Because I hear you. I think if I'm recalling correctly, you were saying you need to check this. You need to check this.
Yeah, absolutely. See, what happens is when you're married and you have a sister that comes into the situation, the sister says different things on like you said, the little shade stuff.
Yeah.
But this wasn't shade as bad. This was shade as trying to be informative. Question about. I mean, just saying different things like, oh, "Girl, I bet that thing good," or "Is it good? Do he do this? Do he do that?" Asking all these sexual questions, asking about, dressing promiscuous, and not just around me, but around a lot of men. Just come in just half naked, just, and then, I saw some, after a while, I said, "Hey, babe, listen, you got to check this." And she said, "What happened?" I told her what happened. And at first it was more like, she's, she just, crazy as hell, blah, blah. I said, okay. I said, well, either way it goes, you need to check her. Because I don't think she's playing. So it came to the point where she come around dressing promiscuous, looking promiscuous. And then after that day, I saw a circle of women surround her. And after that, it stopped. And that's the moment I knew. I said, this is what accountability looks like. This is what. Oh yes, they held her accountable, baby. And after that, I think she started wearing sweaters around. She didn't come around a lot anymore. They're all still cool. They're all still close, but she doesn't participate in any get-togethers, barbecue, nothing. It's more like I'll love you guys on the days I see you, but I'm not gonna come around. But they held her accountable. When I saw those women circle around her in their garage, I don't know what was said, but I know that she was no longer there because she came in, see through everything. Woo, everything. You see straight through her. She was like a glass when she walked through the door.
Hold on for a minute. Let's do this super chat. This is from Gail at night. Gail, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. She says, no comment, no question, just pure love. Thank you so much.
The most
Gail, thank you.
Gail is to be appreciated. Oh my God, she's amazing.
Yep. OG Patrice, hello, how are you? So listen, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Black man, because listen, that is a sister. When you marry a young woman and she has a sister, that is like your sister, right? Should be. And you would want to be comfortable around your sister, but you still got to keep your guard up. Because if you don't keep your guard up, you just said she came in there, you could see everything.
Mm-hmm.
You still a man and she's still a woman.
Exactly.
We have to protect our men from that. We have to say, she's a sister. Not even, I ain't gonna even go single or married. She's a sister. That's family. Right. And so often things happen with family, with sisters, with single friends, whatever. So I'm always in that protect mode of I need to protect my husband. It ain't got nothing to do with my husband. It really ain't got nothing to do with anything, but besides, I'm not a fool and I know things happen. So let's do this super chat really quick. Emmanuel, thank you so much for. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Luke Hazley, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Married ladies should never share any private sexual information with other ladies, married or single. That is between the husband and wife. I got to tell you a story about that. Before we do that, though, let me also go to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. It says, anyone can be checked about my wife. I remember I had to check my mother. Some things can be like, hold on, let me see.
A plague.
Wait a minute, I can't. Okay, like a plague. You must stop it at the beginning. You are exactly right.
Hey, we can go there, man.
We need to hear about that, though. I ain't never had to check the mama.
Who? I had to check my mama.
What?
I had to check my mama a whole bunch of times. Absolutely.
Okay, so hold on for a minute. Hold that thought. But going back to what Luke Hazley said, my husband was part of these men group. Red Lipstick Vibes. Hello, how are you? And in the men group, you have single, married, it was just men. It was barbershop talk. They actually met in the barbershop. Sir Hill, thank you. Hello.
Sir Hill.
He said in the barbershop, they would get in there. It was a Christian-based meeting, but they would get in there and the men would talk about their sexual whatever. And sometimes they would be talking about their wives sexually.
Oh yeah, they do that all the time.
What? Blackman, you can't talk about you can't do that. Nobody can do that. You can't sit in there and talk about what you and your wife do, how you and your what? That's not why. Okay, why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? Tell me.
Well, as you sit in the barbershop, as any black man can tell you, when you sit in the barbershop, no subject is off limits. And so,
yeah. But guess what? The next time you see his wife, you're gonna be checking for it. I mean, automatically you gotta.
Exactly, and I think that they have a code of conduct where they feel like men are not going to be looking at their wives that way. But I've been there when my barber was cutting my hair, and my barber would say, "Hey, yeah, man, my wife, man, came the other night, man. Listen, bro, I've been doing it for years. I can't take it no more, man. Her head just wet." I mean, he said, I just be sitting there, I'm so tired of faking. He said, man, I need an award for how I be faking, bro. He be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He said, when she roll up and go to sleep, he said, man, I have to go in another room, bro. He said, man, it's just horrible. He said, I just hate to even look at her when she on me. He said, she ain't got no sexual experience, no nothing. He said, that's what you get for marrying a woman that ain't been with number one man.
Oh, my God. Hold that thought. Listen, y'all, wait a minute. This way. Captain Executive, thank you so much for your $20 super chat. He got that pair character sliding on the floor also. Thank you. But here's a saying, knees saying go. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your super chat. Got the money line song.
Hey.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So while we're here, Sir Hill, thank you so much for your $49.99 super chat. And he just says, SB Nation going up. Thank you so much. Get the money line song.
Hey.
Give me mine.
Sir Hill, speak.
Money line. Give me mine. Yeah. Okay, so we touched on two things right there. So here it is, black man. So if you saw his wife, if she was to come in, hey babe, just bought you something to eat, how would you have looked at her? Honestly,
well, she did come in all the time.
And you looked at come on, be honest. What did you think?
It's hard because when she walked in, I'm like, oh,
you couldn't even look at her.
I can't even look at her. And then some men talk about how good it is. Like some men will come in and say, hey, my wife was on me last night. She did this and pulled up and jumped on my face, come back. I mean, just telling all the secrets. And then the wife come in and bring it because he be on the phone. Hey, baby, y'all close? And she dropped his son off and she walked through the door. All the dudes like, ooh, damn.
Ooh, no protection. Don't you know how vulnerable? You see, we get married, but we forget that we still men and women. Especially if you're an attractive group of people. Are y'all serious about that? You got to protect your wife. You got to protect your husband. And you can't do that.
I think women can be at a barbershop because the world's changing. Women cut hair just like men do. And some women are even better than men cutting hair. I think that, so it's changing. It's coming that, where men and women are working together. However, in some of these old school barbershops that I grew up in, that's no place for a woman. And when those women walk in, the men know it. Some men will be sitting in the chair getting their hair cut, and their women will walk in looking good, curves everywhere. And when they walk in, the dude looking like, because he already know all the dudes are looking at the corner of the eye like this. It's.
But someone somewhere is gonna hit on her. Maybe not in that moment. But guess what? Forget hitting on her. What about all the fantasies they having in their head? Because they already got half the story.
Oh yeah.
See, we can't do stuff like that. That's not protecting your marriage. You have to flee. You have to flee the appearance of sinful nature. That is not. And then guess what? What if one of them did approach her? She was having a weak moment, and then he just, whatever the husband said to do, he did it and added something to it. Now she won't know.
I will say this: in Louisiana, I had a barber that cut my hair from when I was a little kid all the way up, and he was one of those guys, very handsome. That guy, woman's man. I mean, he's just out there bad. And so one of the women would come in, and he cut her husband's hair. So so the husband come in with his wife. The salon was on the other side, so she will get her hair done on the other side of the building, and they would come together. And when he come in, and they'll walk in together, and they'll split because there's a hallway that goes to the other side where the salon is. And he'll whisper down in my ear, Boy, if he only knew, I'll be tearing that ass. Oh.
Wait, what? So he had did it?
Yeah, they doing it. Yeah, he was actually actively having sex with this woman, and he cuts her husband's hair.
That's too much. Listen, OG Patrice says men do talk more than women about their sexual partners. Oh my God. See, this is what we're talking about, protection. This is not good for a marriage. This is why I say we leave the single folks out, because the single people be having them good stories. You know, the chandelier and the male reviews and the nightclub, the getting drunk, the drunk sex where you done forgot where you was the next day. They want to come and tell you that kind of stuff. I don't need a visual. I don't even want that in my life. I'm trying to create my own stories over here.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to be sharing my come on. Can you imagine a married woman sharing what her and her husband did last night with this single woman? This single woman that got to go home by herself. Come on. How many times you do that?
But I already shared that story with you. Remember, I told you about the lady that was on Sir Hale's platform, and I told you about the lady that I used to go to church with. Her and her husband is a really huge. He's played for celebrities and everything. Huge musician here in the state of Texas, and him and his wife were going through. He wanted his wife to be more active in the bedroom, as far as doing now. And she went to the beauty salon, and she would talk to her stylist about her husband. Girl, he want to do this and he want to do this and he want to try all this. Where all this stuff coming from? Girl, I'm not doing none of that. If he can't get on top and get it, he's just not gonna get it. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not doing that. Right? I know these people personally because I was there when all the stuff in the house was moved out and they split and went their different. I was there for it all, and so she started finding. Then all of a sudden, her stylist was getting more information. Then all of a sudden, here he comes. He's coming home late. Rehearsals running a little later. He's on the road a couple more days than he needs to. Then he comes home. She goes to get his clothes and wash them. There's letters. Here's your lunch. Hope you enjoy it. Stuff like that. And so she didn't know who it was, and she ended up finding out who it was one day by tracing numbers and messages, emails, and it was her stylist.
Whoa.
Now, guess what? Her husband is married to the stylist. They've been married for 5 years.
Now, you see, that's low down. That's low down on every side. It was wrong for the wife to sit there and complain about her husband to a single woman. And then it was wrong for the single woman to mess with the married man knowing that he was married. And then sit there and did the woman's hair. Now, I never heard you tell that story.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you may not be on the platform. I was on Sir Hale's platform and I told that one. But yeah, she was on.
You don't do that's what I'm saying. We have to listen, guys. I'm telling you, protect your. I try to protect my marriage at all costs. I try to see the enemy, even when he ain't enemy. He is not the enemy. Right. We don't entertain stuff like that. My husband and I deal with whatever we deal with. But when we go out, even with couples. Sir Hale says, please take a moment to hit the like. But thank you. Let's take a moment. Sir Hale, you're so good to me. Let's take a moment, guys. When you're coming into the live, let's get those likes up now. Please hit the like button. Give us a thumbs up. We work hard out here. We're on a Tuesday night too. We're trying to do something different. So make sure y'all give us a thumbs up.
Right, let's take a moment. How many people watching right now? Let's see.
See, I never see that kind of stuff on my angle.
Oh, hell no. We got 50 people watching and got 28 likes.
Oh, come on. We got to take a minute. I want y'all to think of a time when you didn't protect your relationship or marriage, and then hit that like button while you're thinking about it. And then once you're done, come on back with us and we'll continue our conversation. But go ahead and hit that thumbs up while you're here.
Yeah, 50 watching, also, 28 likes. Come on.
If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're doing that also. Thank you guys for reminding me to do that.
Absolutely.
Listen, if a woman can take a man, it means that wasn't well guarded. That's what we're talking about, Sir Hale.
Yeah, Sir Hale cooking tonight.
That's what we're talking about. You have to guard. You have to protect. You really do. Ooh, Big Bad Book got a question. He said, what is wrong with true love finding itself through a marriage that probably never should have been? I don't know about this. You ain't going to come up, but I'm not sure. But what you think about that, black man? A marriage that probably never should have been. I don't know about that. When you say never should have been, see, I'm different with marriage. I think
once you get married,
it's marriage.
On the same page.
You got to make it what it is. You got to invest the time. I can't think but so far. I know there are a lot of things that happen within marriage. I know people do a lot of different things, but once you in it, you got to make it what it is. Even if you got to sit that woman down or that man down and tell them your expectations, tell them how you're going to go about doing it, whatever it is. And until that person tells you that they don't want to be married, she yours and you are, y'all together. So you got to make it what it is.
Can I read this one?
Yeah, what is it? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Luke Hazley 20 said, on my first marriage, we met a couple that kept discussing their sexual escapades with my husband and I, and we found out they were swingers and they were testing us.
Absolutely, and they wanted to swing with y'all. I'm glad you said
Really, beloved.
See, that's what happens. That happens a lot. I run from that kind of stuff because you can hear them little undertones every time. You could say something about a Snicker bar and they be like, make a nasty joke. We had some friends that every time we said in it, they would always go back. It would always be a sexual undertone to everything somebody would say. Me and my husband be looking at each other. We be like, did we just hear that? Are we hearing correctly? So, it makes me, nah. I don't go for that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of swingers out there.
Hey, Yale, how are you? We assuming that folks are reasonable. What do you mean by that? We know people are not reasonable. We're saying protect your marriage and your relationship. Don't expose your spouse or yourself to this type of stuff. Don't entertain single girlfriends. When you go to the barbershop, don't be in there talking about you and your wife or your girlfriend's night of sex. Don't do that, Okay, so go ahead.
OG Patrice. She said, unsolicited security boss, I'm just wondering about how all the people that said Will Smith was protecting his wife when his wife said she didn't need to be protected.
Yeah, you wondering about it. I'm not wondering about it at all. We're going to talk about it. Yep. We're going to just go ahead and tell them now. When the show is over, we're going over to Blackman Unfiltered, and he has a show about it. He's continuing the conversation about Will and Jada. So come over there. Come over there tonight.
Yes, the name of the show
we're going to continue to talk about it because I got a whole different idea about this thing. I ain't going to say too much. Brittany B, hello, how are you?
Brittany B.
Brittany say move in silence. Yep. They be hating. I agree, but you got to. Von Bryan, hello, how are you? E. Denise. Mandrell, how are you guys? Thank you for being here. M. Mills, I don't know if I spoke to her or not, but good to see you. Yeah, you have to protect because so often, see, people don't understand this energy that I had another friend that was married. This one was married. It was couples, but she loved to try to put her hand on my husband's shoulder. She spoke with her hands. She talked with her hands. You seen those people that talk with their hands?
Yeah, hey, Mr. Boss.
Yeah. I always, move. You have to move. Go on. Hey, girl, push on to the. Just give a little shove. You speak it long enough. That kind of stuff. You have to be on. I hate to say it, but you have to pay attention because this stuff is really real. Okay, I'm gonna give you a more of a serious. Not really serious, but this is something that happens. It probably more so happens to women. Women love men in power, and a lot of times in church or people who you have these groups or these groups that get together, marriage groups or what have you. And one time we allowed. And I'm going to say we allowed as a group, we allowed a one man that came in that was very powerful in the word. He came in and he had been married before. I think he had been married maybe once or twice before, maybe just once. I ain't going to lie on him. Maybe once before, but he was very, very, very good and strong in the word, right? So anyway, when he spoke with a lot of conviction. And, some women, that's really powerful, that they think that's real attractive, but even though we're in a marriage group, but if your husband is not that man, or if he's not leading, not a bad guy, but if he's not leading in that way, it could get very tricky. So we start noticing, me and my husband start noticing that this young lady, hey, Genesis, this young lady started wearing little skirts to the group. These group meetings we used to have, with little skirts. I was like, wow, okay. And then she started talking in a way that was just a little bit off. So I had to have a conversation with her and let her know that I knew that this man in other words, she was dreaming about this man at night. Not that she had done anything to him, but she was wishing that man was her husband in some ways, if y'all can understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And that often happens. And And, you know, when I spoke to her about it, she didn't deny. She didn't deny at all. She just had gotten caught up, because you looking at this man, he got the word of God in him. He's sitting up here talking about it. He's making sense. He may, you know, full of life or what have you. And your husband may be a little lazy. You know, you've been with him for over half your life or whatever the situation is. He doesn't have that spunk anymore. Doesn't choose to have that spunk. And he got this man over here that does. And you looking at him, and he might just be being nice to you. She has started fixing them sandwiches, you know, a lot of little pleasantries and things of that nature. And I just had to pull her to the side and say, listen, I need you to snap out of it, because this is becoming very obvious. And the little do you know, that man will lay with you. So in order for you to keep this straight, I need you to snap out of it, get back on track. And if you need not to come to these meetings for a while, you need not to come. Because I think so often people think when they have those type, and I think this might go back to what Big Bad Bull was saying, when you have those types of feelings or thoughts, because you're having them, you thinking that this okay to have, or you are in good standing, or it's real, or it's you know, something you should act on. No, you shouldn't. You don't have to be incorrect. You don't have to be wrong. You can change your thoughts. You can definitely change your thoughts. He's so helpful. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. You can control your thoughts. You can change them, just like that thought imprinted in her mind that she wanted to get with this man, or this man. She was impressed by this man, very much so. Even though her husband was there, she was enamored by him. You know, when he spoke, she was looking like this, and he fixing sandwiches, had a little short skirt on, and her husband, he was so passive that he couldn't even, passive, wasn't even picking up on it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Don't nobody see what's going on but me and my husband? Come on, y'all. So I had to pull her aside and say, you don't want to go down that road. She really didn't, but she couldn't help what she was feeling. I said, you got to rethink this thing. Even if you don't come to these meetings, even if you talk to your husband, whatever you got to do, you got to put some light on this so it can go away.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, somebody just put in the comments up here. At the end of the day, somebody said something about women are going to be attracted to men. Yeah, I mean, the attraction will be there. It's just about what you act on. A lot of women out here I think that we get to a point where we let our emotions take over. And I always say this, I'm going to do it delicately over here with the security boss. But we have posted.
I'm old. Listen, I'm almost. No, I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna say I'm old enough to be, but I ain't gonna do that. I'll be old enough to be your aunt.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, when we get that whole post-nut clarity thing.
Yes.
Think about that. I think women may experience the same thing. Oh, girl, I want him so bad. And then as soon as he get in there and get out of there, you like, girl, why?
I don't know if women experience it that way. Sometimes I think for women, mature women, I'm gonna go for mature women.
Uh-huh.
I think it's more of a mental thing. I think they see ideas, or they get in pictures, or they wonder how, or I wonder what, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how this, you know, and then see, you can't allow that stuff to creep in though. You have to be like, nah, rethink, do something different. You got to shine light on it, whether it's talking to your husband or you just getting on your knees, whatever it is, you have to do it. You got to protect your marriage, but we don't need to run around here and pretend that this ain't real.
Right.
It is very real.
And if you naive, that's the recipe for disaster.
Tell me about naive. What do you mean by that?
When people talk, when you hear women say, girl, I ain't worried about that. I got him on lock, girl. He ain't going nowhere. You can't be you can't say those things and then your man's not covered, like Sir Hill said a few minutes ago.
Exactly.
If your man's not well guarded, you can't be saying, girl, I'm not worried about her looking at my man, girl. He ain't going nowhere, but you ain't giving him none. You're not spending no time with him. You're not intimate with him. You don't travel with him. You don't color with him. You don't give him any nurturing. And then this other woman over here looking at him, and you telling these other women, girl, I ain't worried about that. No, you should be worried. You should be worried because if she's looking at him that hard and he get hard, it's gonna be a hard situation. Bars. But I just
listen, I'm telling, that's why I'm so protective. I don't need that in my life. So I'm always protecting on the left. I'm on the right looking. God got me in the front. So listen, I'm doing the whole armor type thing. I'm trying to make sure my marriage is protected. If you think that you don't need that type of protection and you're going to have a good, solid marriage, hey, look, you can try it. I tell people all the time, you can run your relationships any way that you like. I want to have a seamless chaotic free relationship. So
Exactly.
I don't need to be bringing those beautiful single women in my space. And my husband says to me, I am not going to any men's fellowship telling any man how my wife treats me because I don't need this in my space.
Ooh, let me tell you, security boss, I think transparency is good for the soul. Let me tell you, in my first relationship,
Huh.
My ex, her friends were so fine. Ooh, they were tough. And they used to come over to the house. Baby, she didn't want to let them spend the night. They're going to have girls' night. You could be upstairs. We'll be downstairs. And baby, them girls just come through with them sleeping clothes on. I said, Lord, help me get through this tonight. I mean,
she had no idea what she was doing. She had no idea. I don't know what she thought. I guess, you know what? Maybe it's like this. Maybe when we get married, we think that men are no longer men and women are no longer women. Could that have some truth to it?
Yeah, it is. Because I was looking. I'm telling you the truth. I was looking. I'm like, oh, Lord, why am I looking at these? Because they were walking around, they sleep in their pajamas, little short shorts, no bras, just got out the shower, hair down, walking through there smelling good. You got 4 women in there because they're from out of town. So she wanted them to stay at the house. So I'm thinking, oh, they just walking around, they just speaking. Hey, you gonna come and play Twister with us? Hell no, I'm not gonna come play Twister with y'all. If I come play Twister, I'm be looking up on them. I can't be in there with y'all with them big old butt and big old asses all up in my face and twisting around me and my wife over here. No.
You need to say that because I don't think women understand it. I understand it. I'm not no fool because I get enough male attention to know. And I could be all day married. Yeah, I'm married, happy, yeah, but they still looking. Yeah. And they still trying to whisper. And they still trying to, you're so nice. Oh, yeah, I know. But still, I mean, they still men. I'm still a woman. I pay attention. And my husband is a good looking man. I know, and I know what I got. I realize it. So I'm not going to set him up. I mean, he's not perfect and neither am I, but I'm not going to be like bringing the big cake over here in front of him and put it in his face and be like, don't you eat that? Don't you eat the cake?
And I've never understood even something this small. I've never understood a woman dancing with her husband and her friend come up and be like, "Can I dance? Can I have this dance?"
No.
And I see women that say, "Go ahead, girl," and they're just bam, just throwing that ass in a circle on their man, and the girl over there, hey, I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Nah, that's not funny. It's not funny.
I just don't understand.
It's not. Because we don't take it seriously. We're talking about a marriage relationship. Like I said, if you want a seamless, less chaotic marriage, which is already hard enough, you're pouring into your spouse. He's pouring into you. I'm learning who he is. I'm adapting to who he is. We're becoming one. We're on one accord. We're moving all along. I should know that my husband is a man, and I should know what gets him. He ain't nothing. He ain't dead. So if I know of a beautiful woman, and so listen, pound for pound say it gets hard. Y'all can't be around me with all that disrespect. Listen, we know what you're talking about, and that's what we're saying. That's why I say freely that I protect my marriage. That's why I say I don't have single girlfriends. It ain't got nothing to do with the respect that the girlfriends supposedly have for me. I would consider myself a good friend. But the point is you never know which one isn't. Or you never know which one wants what you have. And the way to protect yourself is to say, let me distance myself from all of them. As far as my husband goes, he says he just sit up and look at them. But guess what? If they in there talking too graphic about their women, the next time he see them, he can't help but look at them and be like, damn. And you heard your husband here talking about you last week.
Man, and let me tell you something. My grandfather told me I always got to bring my grandfather, grandmother up because they had some wisdom. My grandfather said, son, when it comes to relationships, the reason that some men get pulled into other women's grasp, he said, because the unexpected is not expected. The unexpected is not expected. Let me give you an example. We used to go to church picnics, and I remember men in the church, deacons, would have their speaker set up, their DJs, they're DJing they're playing Christian music for the picnic and some R&B music or whatever. And I remember wives would be sitting out just in circles, just talking and laughing and kikiing. And the single women will be walking around to the husbands that was working, putting up the picnic tables, putting up the volleyball nets and barbecuing. And they'll walk up, you hungry? You want something to drink? You need anything? I'm telling you. And the other women, they just, and not even paying attention. They're not even looking, and these single women are over there. You hungry? You want something? You need something? How many hot dogs do you want? You look like you thirsty. You want something to drink? I'm telling you. And
listen, Brittany B says, and don't be talking about your sex life either. Just shut up till it's over. Listen, you're exactly right. But listen, we're gonna drop the link in a minute. But I want to tell you this. I'm gonna tell you another one that gets us, because it's all about influence. For women, it's mostly influence, and it's not always about sex. When I tell you a powerful man can romanticize a woman through conversation, through his charismatic, those pastors, they be having them women like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then, listen, if the man said the wrong thing, they just, especially if the husbands ain't doing it. I'm telling you, if the husbands are not into these relationships, the pastor can do what they want.
I can tell you right now, being in the church all my life,
right?
Since I was a kid, I can tell you how they finesse them. Here's a pastor finesse.
You ain't got to tell me. I done seen. Listen, it got so bad one time. I used to work at a church. It got so bad. The pastor used to tell me. He said, when she come in, I need you to come up here and open up the door. Don't close the door. I need you to stand around. Don't close the door. He used to get scared, not scared, but he knew that if that door closed, no telling what I'm being here doing. He used to tell me all the time, I need you to come up here and stand outside this door and please don't close the door. He used to say it every time a woman was to come. He told me he was afraid because he knew that if this wrong woman coming here, she gonna sit on my lap. And when she sat on my lap, because I ain't got enough sense to get up and walk around. So when she sit on my lap, I know what I'm gonna do. So listen, let me read this super chat. Ayo, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Some women sell themselves a dream. Don't take your man for granted. Listen, we all on the same page. We're agreeing with you, but I got one more for you because we're talking about influence. The pastor don't intend to have these women fantasizing about them. They don't. Listen, keep her mind stimulated and the options are limitless. You're right. So guess what? I'm gonna give you one more. All this junk that's on TV, all this unregulated stuff that we seeing on TV now. That show that you told me about, was it Harlem?
Yeah, Harlem.
All stuff where all these women are having all these women are having sex with each other. Are they in relationships with each other? And a woman or man is sitting up watching this all the time. That's what they watch. That's what they're feeding their spirit with, right? Are you telling me they nothing but straight influence? Are you telling me if husband is not into this woman and they're not building and feeding this relationship, their marriage relationship, do you not think that these women, the influence of that is not getting into their heads?
Yep.
If all they're hanging out with is women.
Yep.
If they got the single friends coming over, doesn't it make sense?
Yep.
Why do we pretend like this stuff don't influence us?
And there's nothing worse. There goes another super chat.
Okay, hold on for a minute. Ace Senior, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for your $9.99 super chat. You get the money line song.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah. He says familiarity breeds contempt and also sexual attraction. You are so right. But why do we pretend? Listen, we don't take that marriage covenant very serious, right? We think it's going to just operate on its own, like it's going to just be good. It's not. We have to protect it. We have to feed into it. We have to pray about it. We have to build a foundation around it. If not, guys, I can imagine that all these things I'm talking about that we're talking about is reasons why marriages don't work. This is why we have divorces. Now, people don't look at it this way because what we're talking about is spiritual. This is not all physical. We're talking about mental things. This is the underlying stuff that gets into the marriage, that tears it apart. But you just looking at the physical part, like what it made you do. I'm talking about how it got into your spirit and made you do it. The made you do part is obvious. But you got to stop it before it gets in there.
Right. And think about this. There were preachers when I was growing up. You said preachers not intentional. I'm telling you, there were preachers when I was growing up that could finesse a woman out her panties during service. And what I mean by that is
doing the service.
Oh, yes. Because what happens is you live in those I'm from Louisiana. So when you live in those small towns, you know everybody's business. So the pastor is not, he knows that you're going through some of your marriage. He knows your husband's unemployed. He knows all these different things about your husband. And he'll get up there and the pastor will be like this. Ladies, when God is trying to show you something in your life, you don't have to deal with nothing. You don't have to go home to a man that's unemployed. No man should be unemployed more than 72 hours. What you need to do is open your eyes and know that God may have something different from you, but you have to be open to what's different instead of what you've been dealing with. You don't have to deal with it no more. I just want to hear the women in here say that I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm not dealing with it no more, Pastor. I'm not dealing with it no more. And then they get in the car with their husbands and go home, and their husband just lost their job. They can't pay their bills. The husband's not where he needs to be financially, and that goes in his head. That goes in the woman's head. And then
Straight to it.
And guess what? Then next thing you know, we used to have this thing called chicken and pastors. Next thing you know, your wife cooking up a batch of chicken, and the pastor's over there praying for her while you out looking for a job, laying hands.
So listen, Luke Hazen said, "This is why Mike Pence only said I do dinner with my wife." You better see, y'all. This is a real thing. It's an everyday thing. In order, because we have so many influences out there. But we're gonna take a break for a minute, and we're gonna say, when you come into the live, make sure you give me the thumbs up. I need to get them thumbs up. And listen, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. This is Unsolicited Security Boss or Security Boss Unsolicited. Also go to Blackman Unfiltered and subscribe to the channel. Please do that, guys. And I thank you all so much for being here. So make sure you're giving us a thumbs up as you come in.
We're 14 short from getting up there with who's watching. Now, listen, guys.
All right.
It's 64 of you watching now. Okay, the number's going up. 64 of you watching. We have 51 likes. Come on now. We got to match the watches with the likes. Let's go now. Come on. We need to get to 64 likes. Let's go.
So listen, I got one more request. I am one away from 2,400 subscribers. So can I please get one person to hit that subscribe button right now? Pound for pound. You look new to this channel. I'm just letting you laying hands. Please do. I appreciate that. That's always good. We need somebody. Just one more. That gives me the 2,400, and I definitely appreciate you all. Welcome to SB Nation, and thank you for being here. But we're going to get back to this. All I'm trying to say, guys, is this. Influences come from so many directions. We have to guard our eyes, our ears, and our hearts. Yeah. And I find it easier to deal with people who have the same agenda as I, meaning married people. I think they should have the same agenda as far as guarding their marriage also. I do think that single individuals have a different perspective on life. They're not in any kind of covenant with anybody. I'm not saying that any and everything goes, but they pretty much do what they want. And I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. Just don't be telling it to me, because I'm still a woman. My husband's still a man. We're not dead. We are not dead. Dracode, how are you? We are not dead.
Oh, everybody got these questions.
Oh, Jada Protected Will. Do you think Jada protect? Listen. In a minute, in a short time, I need you, Aluchi, to go over to Blackman Unfiltered. We're going to take this show and we're going to go over to Blackman, and we're going to talk about Jada and Will a little bit longer. So I'm not going to ruin anything. I'm not going to do it, Blackman. Just hold that thought. Come over to Blackman Unfiltered at about 9. What time is it? 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Yes.
Just come on over there and we're going to talk about it in just a minute. So that would be 9 o'clock Central Standard. So you're looking at 10 o'clock my time. So just hold on. We're going to get over there. So anyway, getting back to it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's influence. And I don't know why we think that we're not influenced, because we definitely are. We are influenced by everything that we see, do, hear, and we have to manage these things. And I just choose to protect. I'm very woke. I'm very conscious. Hello, Corey. How are you?
Mr. Corey.
Yeah, I'm very woke and very conscious of what's going on in my life. And I want all of you all to be the same way. Now, this is if you want to be in a marriage relationship. I understand nowadays being married is just not cool. So who knows? I understand that. But
influence is I think there's more bad influence now than good influence, especially with our women. Because I'm not saying it's just I'm not pounded on women. What I'm saying is, look at the things that they have on TV, right? Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop New York, Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of this, Housewives of that. I mean, I mean, it's so many things, and all you see is depiction of black women throwing line in each other's face, beating the hell out of each other. And then you in your head, these women they start thinking like that, and then they start. I mean, I'm starting to see women take on the characteristics of these women.
You know you are. And then
Absolutely.
go one further. How about, I mean, I don't know how real or fake that this is, but what about the young lady that just is getting married to the young lady that was on the show a couple of seasons ago in Atlanta? Portia's getting married to the husband of the, yes. You see what I'm talking about? See, they come around them with all the bathing suits on, the little swimwear. These are beautiful women.
Portia is bad.
You expect your men to be able to handle themselves, but the thing is when you come over here and we having these type of party, ain't no men. You have to, or whatever the situation is. We're going out to an island out there somewhere in the Caribbean. We're not going to be doing that around my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm just like the girl. You ever seen Harlem Night?
Harlem Nights. Yes.
Harlem Night.
You know that's for sure.
You know Miss Sunshine. What's her real name?
You know I know Sunshine. I can't think of her name right now. I can never think of her name. You talking about when the man called his wife, called the kids, and told him he wouldn't come home?
I'm talking about her real life story. What happened with her and Nicole Murphy? Her and Nicole Murphy were really good friends.
That's right. But Nicole Murphy denied it though.
They had pictures of them kissing.
Of the kiss, but she denied anything truly intimate. She denied it. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. She ain't had no business kissing. See what I'm saying? Listen, on Saturday, I told OG Patrice, I said, listen, I told the whole panel, actually, not just OG. I told her that every girlfriend, every woman has a story about how a girlfriend done flexed her one way or another, whether it's behind the man or just didn't like her, she was jealous or something. Y'all women, I love y'all, but we out of control on a lot of on a lot of points. So listen, let me read the super chat. A Senior, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. Can we speak on T-Shaw's question? Sure we can. I need to go back and get it. Thank you though, but you get the money line song and we'll see can we find her question. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah. Let's see, can we find her? You got it. Go ahead and read it, Black Man.
Yeah, it was at 6:59, Mr. Boss. 6:59. It says there's a difference between being protective of your marriage and being insecure in your marriage. Can you talk about the difference?
Sure, I can. See, being insecure to me, that's like a jealousy thing. That's like a controlling thing. I'm not even talking about controlling because you can't keep your spouse from doing anything. If they're going to be foul, they're going to be foul. It's going to be outside of your protections. Protection is you don't deal with single girlfriends or you don't go in the barbershop and talk to men about you and your wife's sexual escapades at night. You don't expose your husband to things that you don't have single girlfriends coming over, or even married girlfriends over, and you telling your husband, look at her breast or whatever. Or for me, also protecting your marriage is not looking at porn. Why would I be saying to my husband, we need to look at this porn or we need to go to a strip club? See, all that to me is protecting my marriage. Now, some people think they can entertain all that. In my marriage, me and my husband don't entertain that type of stuff because see, I need to be the apple of his eye. Or whatever, he needs to be that of mine. So if we out there entertaining other women, you got no porn, you got no pee. So you got to understand that is protection. Now, I don't even know how insecurity sets in because insecurities to me sounds like I said again, on a controlling thing. I can't keep my husband from doing anything, but I can protect him from the things that I know that could hurt him or hurt our marriage. So in other words, protection is of the marriage. Insecurity deals with the individual. And
sometimes insecurity can be taken the wrong way too. Sometimes insecurity is protection that they put a bad light on because they want to have the freedom to do what they want to do. Let's just be real.
Hold on for a minute. Let's do this. Let's do the super chat. You explain to me how insecurities, because hold on, just hold that thought. AL, thank you so much for your super chat. Let me see what you had to say. I can't see it. Question, 6 years. Wait a minute. 8 years, 3 kids into a marriage and sex is done. How does the spouse stay faithful or keep their sanity? I want my money line song. Money line song.
I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Okay, so let me say this, Blackman. I want you to say this, but I'm going to go to Miss Creative. Miss Creative, listen. You know I love you. If you haven't figured it out yet, I be thinking about you. You influence me. I don't know if you're single or married, but you influence me with your comments. So I want you to hear what I'm saying to you. I am a married woman, been married, will be 27 years in November. There are very good single women out there. Very good. They have value. There are some very good women, period. It's some good, have value, moral, all of that. I agree with you. The problem is they're still women. And I don't know what you're being influenced by or what that woman is being influenced by. If she's a woman, she wants a man, probably, or desires a man. I should say that. She don't know what she's been controlled by, what energy she's been controlled by. So the way I protect my marriage is I keep those people that are single away from my marriage. It has nothing to do with that woman individually. It's just the fact that she's not in a situation, she's not guarding anything. I'm not going to say she doesn't have, no, I'm going to say it. She doesn't have what I have. I don't know if she even desires it. But I also say this, if a woman is a single woman and she says she don't want to be married, that tells me she doesn't appreciate the concept of being married, whether it's mine or anybody's. It doesn't mean she's being disrespectful. It just means that marriage to her is very overrated, because I can't imagine that a woman is living in this world 2022 that doesn't want to be married. I promise you, I can't. I know a lot of y'all say y'all don't, I'm independent, I'm this, I'm that. But listen, there's nothing like companionship, because if it wouldn't, you wouldn't be looking for, I'm not going to say what the next thing I'm going to say. You wouldn't like the company of a man if that was the case. You would remain virgins. You wouldn't be having sex. You wouldn't be doing any of that if you did not want a man. So at some point in time, you want a man. And I hope you're not entertaining yourself with those little toys, because it ain't about that. So my point I'm trying to make is single women are absolutely phenomenal. They are very talented. They're great. They're beautiful. But they have no place in a relationship with a woman that is married, because the thought processes are different. They are different. And I don't know which one is good and which one is bad. That's all I'm saying. So I'm cordial with them. I love them. I talk to them. They need something from me. I'm there for them, but we just can't have that relationship whereas we go out and I'm influenced by that person. That's all. So when women get married, should she leave her single friends alone? Yes, ma'am. Leave them alone. Leave them alone as in no hanging out. You still got to check on your people. You still want to make sure they're good. You still want to call them on their birthdays and things of that nature, but you're hoping that the influence of you being married would influence her and she too would become married. And then y'all can hang out again. But unless she has the same amount of things to lose as I have, I'm not putting mine on the line for her.
And especially if you're coming from a religious standpoint, where the Bible says a man is to leave, a man and a woman to leave their mother and father and cling to each other. Right. And there's a reason. Let's get to the world here. We're checking out the Bible. Let's get to the worldly look of it here. There's a reason why we have bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, because you want to have fun one more time, right, before you put an end to it. Right. Yeah. And when you put an end to it, that's what it is. And if your friends love you, they will respect your union and marriage, so they won't be around you being influenced about a single life, but they can concentrate on married life. It's simple. And if you want to be close to your friend, then find you a man and you get married.
But here's the deal, Miss Creative, it's not even about them sabotaging it, because some people it's not even about that, because there goes the trust that your husband and you should have within each other. I'm not even talking about them sabotaging. I'm simply talking influence. People can make you think that it's better to be single than it is to be married. They can do that right now in these YouTube spaces. If I wasn't connected, I would almost think, damn, it might be better if I was single than being married. Would you not think that, Black man?
Absolutely.
Because of all the negativity you hear about being married, you hear more positive about being single and what you can do when you're single, and this is you're single. And especially me, I'm a Black woman. Black women are making it because they're single. They're doing this because they're single. So If I wasn't grounded into my marriage and loved being married, then I may think being single would be the thing for me. So it's all about the influence. I'm not talking about them actually sabotaging, because remember, I'm cutting the influence off. So I'm not even going that far. I'm just simply talking about the influence. Go ahead.
And it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible because I always talk about the Home Depot bucket effect. It's irresponsible that you go to Home Depot and buy all those orange buckets and fill them up with peanuts, but you're not trying to commit to one. Isn't it amazing that you would go out and you would just give yourself to all these men, and then instead of just giving yourself to one, what are you transferring? What kind of energies are you giving off, and what kind of energies are being put in you? So we have to get to a point to understand, like you said, if you enjoy the company of a man, you need to get your ass married. You need to be in a relationship, period, point blank. You need to be getting married.
So let's read the super chat. And I also want to comment to something, but Sir Hill, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. It says, this stream is fire. I underestimate the power of influence, especially negative influence from people we care about. Oh, it's very big. It's you know what? It's even a look. Sometimes, okay, I'm gonna tell you how it's a look. What did y'all say Jada did? Didn't she look? I don't need to talk about this, but didn't Jada give him a look? Then he went up there and made a fool of himself.
Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about. But you get the money line song.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So this is a very good point that M. Mills made, right? This is a very good point. And this is actually something that happened. It's very questionable, but I want to hear what y'all think about it. You know, in these marriage groups, everybody's married. What happens if you all get a divorce? And now that couple that was involved, can they continue to come to the marriage group, or one or the other? What do you think about that? Because now they're single, but you know, it goes into, what do you think about that?
No, because you're no longer part of the club.
You're no longer married.
It says married couples, couple meaning one together, coming together and sitting down, talking through issues. Why would your single ass come and sit down by me and listen to all my problems, and then you say, you know what, I lost my man because of this, but then this man did everything my husband didn't do, and he with her, she complaining. Oh, I maybe have to try to get him. Why? Come on now.
Yeah, and guess what? Now she got her pick. She know everything.
Everybody business. And then when he go to the bathroom, she sneak out and go to the bathroom too. Hey, I'm sorry that you're going through that. You know, I was married and I went through some things, and I gave everything to my husband that you want from your wife. But I just wanted you to know I'm here for you if you need anything. I'm telling you.
So listen, God, thank you so much for getting me to the 2,400 and actually surpassing that. So I thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Continue to do so. Also, thank you for giving me the thumbs up. Let's take a breath and make sure we do it. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to remind myself to remind me to ask everyone to hit me the thumbs up as they come in. So that was a great point. So Mel, how are you doing? And Jedi, how are you?
My guy.
Yeah, doing everyone. Definitely. I want to ask this question T so I wrote. Definitely.
Go ahead.
It says, would you say that most married men leave their single friends alone when they get married? I would say yes and no, because it depends on the type of man that they have around them. Let's say if that married man was a former womanizer type, and he decided he had to get out since he want to settle down, most of his friends will be womanizers also too. So in some cases, when he settled down with his woman and stuff like that, one, he probably might not hang out with them as much as he used to. Of course, he's going to try to even cut them off and stuff like that, because he's this whole pack of friends, him and his boys were womanizers, you know. But if he has the one guy that's not a womanizer, and he settled down, probably gonna hang out with him a little bit more and everything, because you know what, he probably sees that friend that's lacking in the department of getting with women and stuff like that. So he probably might hang out with him. So some of his past, you know what I'm saying, activities might influence him, so he could go out and find his wife. He probably would become like not just the best friend, but that mentor type also too, to help him try to get his woman and stuff. So he'll have him hang out with him, rub on him, you know, that energy rub on him a little bit. It's sort of like a passing of the torch in a way, like that. But most of the time, yeah, it's like different packs. Like I said, let's say from another perspective, let's say this dude was not a womanizer, but he settled down. He's gonna hang with guys that's not womanizers also too. But he will string away because depends on what other activities they're into also too. They still into doing like those fun activities so much that require men to not take care of a family at home and them like that. He's gonna try to string away from them as much also too because he has a different responsibility now and stuff.
So guess what, Mel?
Yeah,
Like I
great.
said earlier, the barbershop has both the married man and the single man and all the men. But I don't know, my husband went to men's fellowship in those situations, and he used to tell me that, I'm gonna have to stop going because of some of the things that they brought to the barbershop. Like I said, they're talking about them having sex with their wives. Some of them talking about taking on 3 and 4 wives. Some of them talking about how they running through the women. They're talking about so many different things that are influencing or that can influence a man, had him thinking about, sometimes, some men can really flip this thing to make you question yourself and be like, hey, you know what? That does make sense. I've been hearing some things here lately on YouTube. If you sit and listen to it, you be like, you know what? That could work. And I'm like, wait a minute, you better come back here to the real world, buddy, and think about what's going on.
Exactly.
There's a lot of there's two things that's out there right now that's happening right now. You have women, and we can have a show on this. Oh Lord, you have women out there right now that understand that this dating game ain't what it is. Now you have women that say, girl, I can get a man time I want, and now they're still sitting in that cold bed. Now you have women offering themselves to men to be in polygamous relationships. Watch this. They're going to the men and saying, you know what? I see that you're family. I see that you have a good thing going. I see that you have children. You guys are stable. How about I come into the situation and add another income? I can be your second wife. I can help your wife with the children. I can work every day just like you and your wife. 3 incomes is better than having 2. And then eventually I would want to have babies as well. We can find another house. We can find another place to stay. We can invest in a new home, right? You have that. And then you have the white. Now, this is more of the white women. A lot of the white women saying, you know what? Our husband's going to do what they want to do. At least we can control it. So what we're going to do once a year, one weekend out of the year, we're going to give all our husbands hall passes.
They made a movie of it.
Yeah, okay, they made a movie about it. You can go do whatever you want for an entire weekend. You can have sex with who you want to. If you're a younger woman, you can go get her. If you want to go get drunk, you want to go get high, you want to go, whatever you want to do. You have a hall pass for a weekend. But when you come back Monday, I need you to be the husband, the father, and the leader that I need you to be. But once a year, I'm going to give you freedom.
Wow, that's crazy, but that's real.
That's real.
That is so real. I've heard that. That is. But see, why is that okay? Why are we dumbing down the institution of marriage so much that it's the world now is because it's not a worldly it's not a worldly concept. So why are we dumbing it down?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
Just like Blackman was saying about the second concept. Technically, those are couples that certainly understanding their sexual nature as human beings and stuff. And marriages like that, she knows. Mostly those are probably women that with certain types of men that are bigger breadwinners and stuff like that. And she knows those type of men, they're gonna have sexual desires, and they probably at the level now that you know what, I'm not gonna sexually satisfy a man all the time when he's in his sexual needs. So you know what, I'm gonna let him satisfy his sexual needs somewhere else for that one time being. But as long as he come home to me, that's all that matters. That's like you said, we set the rules, and most of that's what technically all women care about. They care about okay, if you're gonna cheat on me, do not embarrass me. Do not have
exactly.
Do not give me no disease.
Exactly.
Other than that, they know they got the highest status man right there. And just like pertain to the second concept with the polygamy type, you got to see this. A small percentage of men, women recycle. A large percentage of women get with a small percentage of men. There's a large percentage of men that's good, suitable guys, but most of those men ain't desirable by a large percentage of women. They want that small percentage. So they'd rather have the small percentage of men that someone else have so they can have it instead of being with someone that they didn't really want. Remember back in the days how we had arranged marriages. That's one of the reasons why feminism was created, because they was tired of their fathers, hooking them up with men that they never really wanted, but they had to. Now women got power because I'm gonna make the money and everything. I'm gonna play the game like a man so I can have what type of man I want and stuff. So this pertains to a whole lot. This is one of the reasons why, and there's another concept for that also too women get into. It's called serial monogamy.
Oh Lord.
when they
Oh God.
marry a dude
Hold that
like
concept. Hold that concept right there. Jedi Mike, I want you to tell your story next. And Kirk, it's good to see you. Kirk
E-Man, what's going on, boy?
and E-Man, how y'all doing? E-Man, can you hear us?
What's going on?
All right, so listen, hold that.
I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, I do, but hold on for a second. Go ahead, Jedi Mike. I want to hear this story because I heard you have one. Go ahead.
Listen. I want to echo my brother Blackman Unfiltered was talking about. Listen, I'm a preacher's kid, right? And it come that there's things that are traits that get passed down inherently. So you can blame genetics or whatever, right? You call the Holy Spirit, whatever. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You not know. You talk about, you can say looks, whatever, all that stuff. You can be 6 foot tall, that can attract women. Let me tell you something. If you have a black man that know how to pray,
That's it. That's all you need to do. Yes.
or know how to worship, I mean lift his hands up and worship, right? You know how a black man that can prophesy, Shando. Right? My mother was a prophetess, right? So I knew what to talk about, right? I had an issue with my ex-girlfriend in the past, right? I'm gonna be completely transparent with this. Now, she said she got mad at me because whatever, I'll pray and stuff in a situation where there's a lot of women around, right? But a lot of women come and talk, and I'm like, I really like what you spoke and stuff like that, right? Now, as a man, I didn't see it. I was like, oh, we're in the church. At the time, I was naive. We were younger, right? But they just like what I was just praying about and stuff like that. But my girlfriend at the time, it created a sense of insecurity and jealousy because she's like, well, why these girls like they're talking to you and stuff like that? Cause you're praying with them. Like, well, I mean, we're at church and stuff like that. It's not like I'm directly towards them. I was an altar call prayer, right? So I'm standing up there in the front saying, hey, whoever needs prayer, come up. Swarm of them just kept coming up over to me. I was there. I'm like, I'm just serving my duties, right? But this is what I'm saying, how men get caught up, right? Because then it's all of a sudden, you talk about the Sunday dinners, right? They want to try to bring over the chicken, try to bring over stuff. Hey, let me cook something for you, right? That's how they get you. And I can say this for I admit for myself, like, yeah, when that's around you, yes, to talk about the spirit temptation and stuff around you. And you see that, especially her friends around her and stuff like that. But at some point, this is what I'm saying about enforcing boundaries. Like, you need to stay away. Or like, oh, I got to get like a stick or something. Right? It was ridiculous. So when Blackman Unfiltered, what he was talking about earlier, I understand that created a rift in our relationship at the time too. Because like, you think as a man, oh, I'm just in church or whatever, doing what I'm told. But no. And as a man, I could have took advantage of that. I could have. Right. That's why I'm coming being transparent with the story that a lot of men have been in this position. Now, whether your morality, your integrity, or your character, that's the test in terms of, well, are you going to take that temptation when it's presented to you? Right? Are you going to go feed into that flesh? Are you strong enough? Right? So yeah.
So you know about the influence. You know firsthand about the influence, and especially with a man that's in power. It's very real. And that's all I was trying to say to the ladies about your marriage relationship. You have to protect it. You have to protect it on both sides. And it doesn't have, I'm going to go as far as to say it has nothing to do with cheating. You want to flee the appearance of that. You don't even want that thought even creeping into your head or anyone's head. So that's what you need to do.
And so let me
Gail at night. Thank you so much, Gail. Gail said submit those videos. Listen, this is a great time. I need you guys to know. I like that, Jedi. I need all these bachelors that are here in this live right now. If you're ready for love, and I hope most of you are, I need y'all to submit those 2 to 3 minute videos to SB Show 2020. We need to do that. We need you all to do that because y'all have already met Bella, right? The dating show is coming. I Choose You is coming soon. I just need for you bachelors. I only need 20. So I need you all to submit those videos if you're looking for love. Now, I'm always hearing almost every time I enter into this space that there are no good women out there. I got several women that are waiting. Several women that are waiting. I didn't mean for this to happen this way, but the women have been hitting me up left and right. So I need the men to go ahead and put those videos in because we can do it this way for a long time the way it's going right now. I intended to go woman, man, woman, man, but right now it's gonna go woman, 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 woman because I need you all to definitely participate. 2 to 3 minute videos. Go to SB Show 2020 at gmail.com. Submit those videos. All right.
So can I add to something Jedi Mike said?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Definitely.
He talked about the prayer. Let's not talk about the praise and worship leaders. Because what happens is this. A man that gets in front of a church and he can hum in the mic. I love you. Touch your neighbor right now. I love you.
It's called verbal production.
And guess what? And don't let him do a run. Jedi, and don't let him do no run. I love you.
Tag team, go.
Come here, touch your neighbor.
You're wrong for that, but you're right.
Come on. We're laughing because it's true.
Hold on for a minute. Let's go back a minute. AL, let's see what AL had to say. Because Jedi, I think somebody throwing some shade over there on you. Let's just see what he says. Oh, I see where you've been. AL, wait, right there. I see why you were away. Wrong frat, but it's still love. Wait a minute. Just in case you didn't know, the Sigmas.
I'm not alone here. Thank you. I'm not alone here.
Sigmas live here too. You can't be talking like that over here on SB Nation.
Check your phone, Jedi.
This is a Sigma house, all right? So, AL, we're going to forgive you for that one. And we're going to move on with the show.
Yeah, with all love, but respectfully.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll get them later. All right, Kirk. You've been hearing all this and you know about influence. Kirk, you've been married a long time too. So what's going on? What do you have to add to this?
I should submit my 3-minute video?
Yeah, no, you cannot.
No, what?
No, you're not getting me in trouble. No way. No, I'm not having yours. No.
I can't ruin the 9-year that I have already.
No, you cannot. No, we're trying to get where you are. You cannot ruin it. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Hey, good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. I'm just enjoying the show, man. But listen, I want to say that I wanted to comment on I think it was Mel that says that so when you are a man, right, and you're on your purpose, even if you have bad influence around you, because you stick to your purpose, it's gonna be hard to keep you to get you off track if you are committed to your purpose. See, the problem is a lot of people are on their purpose, but they're not committed to their purpose. I want the piano. Where's the drum? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not on they're on their purpose, but they're not committed to their purpose. So if you're committed to something, it doesn't matter if your own boy at work is going to say he's going to the strip club tonight. Hey, I'm committed to stay in my 9-year marriage, taking it to the 10th year and the 11th year. So I don't think that when you are a man that is on your purpose and you're structured, that it's going to be hard for a bad influencer to come outside and kind of pull you away. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen because, like, as we know, the flesh can be very deceiving. But I'm talking about when you're rooted on your purpose and structured, it's going to be hard to take me away from my divine vision of where I'm going. Because, believe it or not, a lot of women try to break up my marriage. A lot of men try to break up my marriage.
Wow.
But me and my wife stayed on our purpose. We had a vision. We had a plan. We had a business that we wanted to build from the ground up. And you already know the more money you make, or the more people come around you, that's going to try to take you off of that purpose. And this is why every time I come on your show, I always says, judge people by their character. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're a wishy-washy relationship, then that's your character. You can't make up your mind. If you're with a man and 1 minute he's going crazy over you and he love, and next minute I don't know, man. Or he have his brother and his sister and his cousin and his niece and his mom in a relationship, then that's a problem. That's going to easily keep you off your purpose.
So what you just said, Kirk, is that you and your wife set parameters for you protected your relationship. It sounds like that. So you agreeing with us. Some people think that you don't have to, but you do, because things can, like you said, the flesh will get weak or can get weak. Something could happen and throw you off, and then you'll be entertaining things that you should have never entertained. But you set the parameters. You say, listen, we know we're going to be out here in this world. There're going to be maybe a lot of things or energies that come against us. This is what we got to do. We got to make sure we stay on our purpose. And it's a deliberate thought for you. You're thinking about that daily, and that's what keeps you. But so often we get caught up in the daily goings, and we don't think about that. We don't put that wall of protection around our relationship. We just think we're good. We think we're good. And we forget that we are women and men, and that there are other men and women in the world, or that a certain song makes you think about another man, or a certain song makes you think about another woman, or you envisioning something on that video from that song, or whatever the situation is. All those things are influenced.
But listen to this also. Like a lot of people don't know where I get I tease you about being a boss chick, right? Because I tease you about that. They might not have seen that. But take, for instance, these new age women saying they're boss chick. We talk about this on different platforms, right?
Right.
But ain't nobody giving you no LLC to run.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But so what I'm saying is my wife has a LLC. So anyone who was supposed to be certified to be a boss chick would have been her. Because as I said in previous show, I can call on my wife right now and send her from Atlanta to California to go take a truck out, or to go do something that is pertaining to my business that is jammed up because of whatever the reason is. That purpose that we have, that vision that we have, is going to be hard for some woman to just come in with her sexy little thing and saying she's a boss chick and take me off of that. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I hear what you're saying.
I just say that you, like you said, you set that perimeter. Listen, there is so many nice things that I see with my eyes that I want, but I wouldn't allow my body to get it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
So listen, what you think about this comment? It says the husband and wife both can become complacent in their marriage. What would you say to that?
They can come, but see, okay. Every day in a relationship, it is a new day and a new vision. If you have a relationship for the last year, and every day y'all keep going to work 9 to 5, y'all keep going to Chick-fil-A every Saturday and Sunday, and y'all keep taking the kids to the bouncy ball, then y'all ain't trying to develop no long-term experience in a relationship. Some of these dudes out here, when was the last time y'all take a girl to Florida? When was the last time y'all take her to to Jamaica? When was the last time y'all just go on a 4-hour ride from New York over to Pittsburgh just to go look at some side skiing? Y'all doing the same thing over and over, and so you let your relationship become vulnerable.
Exactly.
And so if a next man come around and he said, "I'll take you to Miami, I'll take you to Jamaica," guess what happened? Your relationship is going to be vulnerable.
You know what? He ain't even got to say he going to take you anywhere. All he got to do is show her some attention.
Exactly. And so with me and my wife, and in our relationship, and the way we run our stuff, that stuff is, we don't even have time for them. And some of the, how I go at these stuff. I don't even have time to entertain some of these ladies.
Absolutely.
And men also, because some of these guys out here, I know we're not knocking the guys, but I'm just saying it starts with us, because we are the home, we are the guard and the protector of the home. And if we are out here as men structuring ourselves to become husband, like you said, send the video in. All the bachelors send the video in, right? When the video comes in and the girl say, "Well, boss lady, I want this person, I want this person," you're going to have to look at those men character and see who fits who. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's intentional. You have to every day, like you say, get up and decide where you want to be. You want to be happy, you want to live hard, or you want to live easy. And that's what you have to do. You have to check into your marriage relationship like that. And I know it's not easy, but it is something you have to do. But we got a question right here, and then we're going to go to E-Man. The question is from AL. It says, if you're married after 8 years and 3 kids, and sex stops, how does the spouse stay faithful and or not lose their sanity? Did we answer this question already? I hear this happens more often than we think.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, this is how you do it. You have to be intentional with your relationship. You have to figure out why you're with your wife. Why are we not having sex? What is wrong? Because tell you something. If y'all got 3 babies, then she knows how to have sex and she don't mind having sex with you. So you got to figure out why all of a sudden now she doesn't want to have sex. And it's easy to figure out. Just have the conversations. And whatever it is, fix it. But don't let it go months. Don't let it go weeks. Check in with your wife on a daily basis. And when you're making those attempts to make love to your wife instead of having sex, find out, well, babe, what's going on? Why you don't want to have sex tonight? Or why you don't want to make love tonight? What's going on? And how about you all plan that 11 o'clock lunch break where y'all meet at home and get your quickie in, or do something that's spontaneous, or do something like it that resembles what it took for you to get her before the 3 kids. Because this is what OG is talking about, becoming complacent. So often men don't realize that women need build up. We need romance. We need to be. We need that special attention. Yeah, but we need massages.
Yeah, need that music in the background. See, and that's
we do need massages too. Now, see, that's kind of funny.
But they need the same thing too. The key there is communication. Y'all both got to communicate y'all once. Especially once.
You got to tune in. But don't let this sexlessness go for months before you realize y'all ain't having sex. Tune in and figure out what's wrong with it, because women want sex, especially good sex.
Right, and we have to be open-minded, because, like you said, women need a build-up. Men can have sex to a police siren, but women need. But women, they need, like you said, they need a build-up. A man don't need all that to have no sex, but a woman may need that, and I think that's where the disconnect is.
We definitely do. We need maybe the flowers on a Monday.
Right.
We need the lunch break, or we need the little quick getaway. We do. Snuggles 668 has a question. So how does a group of people become intentional with a group of people?
A group? What, they having an orgy?
Okay, we got it. Become intentional with relationships when it says they grow up father's homes, so they do not understand the intersectional dynamics between male and female. See, I happen to think that's a natural thing. I don't think I keep hearing these talking points. No one can teach you how to have sex. It's a natural thing. A person that is mentally, we can't say that word anymore. Mental disabilities can have sex. And no one, just automatically, they know what to do.
I think I know what snuggles mean.
But wait a minute.
Growing up in non-two-parent households. So
but that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with being intentional. Because there comes a certain time in your life when you have to take accountability for your life and your decisions. Because you can have two people, not 2 men. You can have a 2-parent household and the mother not be good or the dad not be good, but you still got to be responsible for yourself. So with that, it takes, like you said, Mel, conversation, communication from the beginning. We're talking about the expectation of the marriage. We're talking about the expectation of the relationship, all parts of it. The children. If we're intentional with that, we don't let these stressors that come into relationship ruin the relationship before we built that foundation. Remember, I say all the time, we got to build the foundation first. I even think the foundation needs to be built before we start adding children to it. Because children take away from sex, y'all, just in case y'all didn't know.
Sure. But let me say this.
Not for me.
Let me say this, Kirk. Let me say this, y'all. A lot of people need to understand that your kids are part of the family. They're not a part of your marriage. Let me say this again.
Tell them why you're saying that, though.
Because you have to know the difference between the two. There's a difference between raising children and then having children become the sole focus of your life. My kids, they need, and then when you get lost in, I gotta get my son, my daughter, and then your husband sitting over here with a dry meat pistol, or you're sitting over here and your husband is taking a lot of time with his son and he's not spending any time with you. You're not going on dates. You're not loving on each other. There's no intimacy because you can't even focus on your husband because you focus on what the kids are doing. There's a difference.
So let's read this other part. Snuggle says, so you should not be having all these conversations on these panels about relationship. It should come natural. Everything you are saying, then if not avoid, according from what understanding you just gave. No, I always say this: you can have it easy or you can have it hard.
Is it?
The choice is yours.
You make the decision on how you want to. People get married every single day and have no concept of what a marriage really is, and they make it what they want to make it. So what my purpose is 26 years later is to share with you some of the roadblocks that I actually went through to let you know that you don't have to go through those things, and you could take away with it what you want to take away with, because nobody ever told me that not having single girlfriends would be a plus. So I entertained it. Actually, not having roommates. How about that? How about when my husband first got together, I had a roommate and she was in there lifting up her hands with naked booty.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Whoa!
Yeah. Trying to be entertainment. It's entertainment. That's all.
College dorm rooms.
Did you catch her? Did you catch her, or did he tell you?
He came and told me. He told me.
Mr. Boss. Mr. Boss said he.
Entertainment. So listen. So going back to Snuggles, it's what you make it. And even still now, we have adult people who've decided to be married. Right. But they may not know how to have a successful marriage. And sometimes you need to talk to people and tell them, look, it's what you make it. Because I don't think people understand it's what you make it. I don't think people think that they really need to pour into their marriages. But the fact of having sex and being in a relationship, that's who we are. That's who people are. We, man and woman. We need each other. That's automatic.
Yes.
That's automatic. So now I'm giving you the process of having it good or having it hard. So that's what I do. But, again, that's why I'm sharing these things with individuals again.
And when you get married, when young lady, when you get married, then you can have it good and hard.
Oh Lord. I don't even have on pearls and I'm touching.
Bars.
That right there. So anyway, that's why. So now, Snuggles, this is this panel. I don't know about all panels, but and there is no one thing fits it all. But again, like I said, if I can share some roadblocks, if Kirk can share some. Kirk just gave us a good roadblock, a couple roadblocks. He's a business owner. He said his wife is now a co-owner. She has an LLC. If she wanted to be boss chick, she could be. But guess what? She's his partner. She's his wife. They're one. They're running a business together. So there are going to be things in their relationship that he can share. He already did. He said, we got this business. We're going to be seeing a whole lot of women and a whole lot of men. This is how we need to conduct ourselves, right? You just said that. That should help somebody. That should help someone. Me, I'm the same way. I've been in a relationship. Anyway, I've been in a relationship for a long time. So if I can help someone with the things that I went through, I'm going to give you a good one. My mother was a wife. I saw her be a wife. My mom and dad were married for 57 years until she actually passed away. I saw her be a wife. Their marriage relationship wasn't very great, but I knew that my husband was not my dad. So there were some things I took away from that relationship, brought into my relationship. But the one thing that I did not take was that all men were alike and all men were no good, because that was what my mama said. That was what my mom said. So my husband and I figured out real early that we needed about 5 years to build up our foundation, to make it very strong before we could even hear voices from the outside. And those voices from the outside would be family, friends, single girlfriends, and others. We had to block it. Mm-hmm. So we did. So for 5 years, we blocked it. Couldn't nobody speak on this marriage because it wouldn't have worked, because you got your mother who you love truly, that you follow her. You follow your parents. Men ain't no good. These damn men ain't none of them no good. If I took that into my marriage, well, I wouldn't be here 26 years later. I wouldn't. That's right. So she didn't teach me that part. That's something I had to pick up on,
But you have to move, but you have to make the moves to get there. You couldn't be around certain people during that process. You see what I'm saying? You got to cut people off.
Mm-hmm. See what we're forgetting is the principle of marriage comes from, those are godly principles, and it's real. And if you follow them, it actually works. But what happens is we do the marriage part, but we never get the principle part, and we never care to follow it. Exactly. So we try to create it as we go, and that's why we mess it up so bad. So I'm just trying to keep people on a good, path. But if you don't want it, I agree. Now, who was that just said, I agree, keep people out of your marriage? Listen, Miss Creative, we had to. You have to keep people out of it. And they don't mean any harm now. Y'all know that, right? Because these people love you. They want the best for you. They just don't know everything. And they're judging by their experiences only. And you have to know that experiences are always different. So that's what I want to say. And Snuggles, I appreciate your comments and thank you for being here. E-Man, go ahead and share with us what you got, buddy.
I think men and women are different.
That's a
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I'm look at we ain't signing. We ain't signing. That's my brother, and I love him from Shanghai. He getting on my nerves right now. We'll talk to him later. I'll talk to him later. Go ahead.
Well, if that works for him, let that work for him.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
If it falls apart, he might listen. If it get too hard for him, he'll realize he got something out of order. Who knows? I don't know. So go ahead, E-Man. Sorry about that. We keep cutting you off. You're doing so good, E-Man. Is the fact that people keep cutting you off making you a better person?
I think I'm more disciplined than a lot of people think.
Right.
We get on these panels and people don't understand certain levels of discipline.
Right.
And if you notice when I interact with people in conversation, I can't respond until I understand their full thought. And so many people try to respond to half statements. And if you really look back on a lot of videos, it shows ignorance. So that's just my opinion.
Well, I see that in you, and that's exactly what I meant. That's why I was saying, does that make you a better person? Because I do see that in you. So I'm not going to interrupt you anymore. So go ahead. You got the floor.
So let's say, first thing I say is men and women are totally different. I do think that single women should not entertain single friends because of the simple fact that your single friends want your man. I want to put it out there because a lot of people lying to y'all women. Your single friends want your man. I'm just going to say that. And the reason I say men and women are different, when I was the first of all of my younger friends to get married. And I influenced all of them to be married today, other than one. You always got that one. But I got married. 6 months later, one of my good friends got married. And then our other good friend got married 6 months after him. So I don't believe that men should cut off their single friends, but they should have an expiration date if they're not moving towards marriage. So we was talking, all of these group of guys don't talk about, we was talking about marriage. I was just the first one to take that step. So I already knew that they was married minded, but I knew that they just needed some inspiration. And I feel like if you know who you is in Christ, of course you shouldn't be entertaining unmarried like conversations, but I don't think you have to cut them off because it's almost like those things that we really got to be mindful that somebody might need that encouraged to get married. And as married people have to encourage them to take that step, in my opinion.
That was good. I agree with that somewhat. But in the part, well, I guess I can totally agree with it because you're saying that everybody was in the mindset of becoming married. It was no single man for life party going on, right?
Yeah. So what we was influencing. So we gotta understand that influence works both ways. I believe I was influenced by married men to get married, and I feel like it was my obligation to bring my friends with me. Now, don't get me wrong. When friends are not trying to go the direction that you're going, you have to cut the line. But we was talking about, I remember I was talking to one of my dear friends. He lived around the corner from me now. And I was like, bro, it's time for you to put a ring on it. And he just needed a man to say it.
Right. Right.
Everybody was saying so much negative things about marriage. And then I just started painting the positive things. 6 months later, and they got married in their dad's house. We was down in there he was getting married. And then 6 months later, the other guy said, hey man, I see y'all guys stepping up. I'm about to put a ring on her too. So I think it comes down to like minds. If y'all like-minded, y'all should be moving. I don't understand how friends move in different directions, because that means that y'all are not like-minded. But if y'all like-minded, if you notice, most of them get married all at the same time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So, E-Man, I agree with everything you said. Oh, Lord, that took a lot. But let me say, that's my brother. I love him. But I will say this. Sometimes, E-Man, I look at it like this. Why do we have to tell him? Why do we have to tell a grown-ass man that you've been with this woman for 5 years, marry her.
I can tell you why.
No, I'm gonna let you cook. But I'm just saying, if you know you with a woman, a man should know. When Mr. Boss saw security boss, he said, "Oh, look at this dark-skinned woman from the north side of heaven. I got to marry her." He didn't wait no 5 years to marry security boss. He knew that was the one for him, and they got married very quickly because he knew this is his woman. Why do we have to wait? So I know men right now been there for 10 years, and I talk to him, "Hey, bro, when you get married?" "Oh man, I just ain't ready yet." Well, damn, you in there getting the coochie, you getting the hugs, the kisses, the dinner, but you can't put a ring on her finger and stand in front of God and say, "This is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with, bro."
You know.
Well, I think it's different. So I believe, and this is my opinion, the number one reason men do not get married is because they feel like they're not financially stable enough to be a husband. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So a lot of men believe that I have to be the one to be able to carry this family financially. And I believe a lot of men, like me, for example, the reason that I was with my wife for, I think, a year and a half, it wasn't that I didn't think she was the right person. I just want to make sure that I had the things in place that me taking on her and her kids, that we was able to put us up in a good place financially. So I think finance have a lot of reasons why men don't move forward in marriage. Now, you do got some guys out there who just gonna be in a situation where they say they ain't gonna get married, and we need iron to sharpen iron. So we need another man. My pastor, for example, he was like, "Hey man, are you planning on getting married? Like what? Like you need another man to speak wisdom because there's so much negative knowledge out there speaking negative about marriage."
So, E-Man, why do you not think that same premise would work with women though? As far as if you're like-minded or women need other women to say it's time to be married. Why do you not think that would work amongst women?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, of course.
Because women are trifling.
And so explain.
Wait a minute. I did not just hear E-Man say women are trifling. Oh my God! I can't believe
it. Just like that. That's the actual one.
Explain the trifling for us.
I think what black men don't understand, if I'm speaking with women, I usually talk about women. If I'm speaking with men, I talk about men. I think what we do is we try to speak down on the person that is not there to defend themselves. And so, but let me tell you why I think women are trifling.
Yes.
Just based off my experience, right? Based off my experience, every relationship that ended in my life, it was typically a woman there trying to remove that woman so that she could take that woman's place. All right.
Okay, so you calling that spirit we talking about tonight trifling?
It's trifling. It's definitely a trifling spirit. And so before I was getting married, I did this thing where I started interviewing my exes, right?
You did what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, E-Man. Don't talk so fast. Slow down and say that again.
I interviewed my exes because I think so many people trying to change the other sex, but the best thing we do is look in the mirror and change ourselves. So I asked my exes questions, as in, what was bad about me? Why did, like, even the ones that broke up with me, why did you leave me? You know, I wanted to know what manifests, especially from a spiritual side. And when I was talking to my exes, they said, "Hey, check this out. That girl that was in your inbox trying to holler at you as soon as we broke up, she the one told me to leave my man." So what I'm saying is that if you really talk to somebody, it wasn't really their own mindset. It was other women really wanting what they had, in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay, so E-Man, let's hold on for a minute, because I think when you say trifling, that's an old term. Can you give us a more modern day term for trifling?
I think so. Let me say, the men in my circle, we have a policy. If you sleep with a woman, she's completely off limits. Like she's off limits. That's just how we operate in my circle. Now I know that's not. I done learned in YouTube space. That's not the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not the thing for women. But we have learned that they're off limits. I think women feel like if that's her man, She don't care if she dated her best friend. She's willing to take her shot. So I think it's a difference in my opinion.
Right.
So that's
So in other words, there's no code amongst women.
I believe there's no codes. I think, especially now, because I think women have to be selected. See, the difference is men, we select women. So if my one of my friends talked to an ex, I know he selected her. You know what I'm saying? So I know he was I ain't gonna call it what I want to call it, but I knew he was something else. We're gonna say that. But when it comes to women, women get selected by men. And most women don't turn down, especially if it's a good guy, and we talk about all these bad guys out here. If it's a good guy, they really don't care where he came from, especially if he can get her to the goal where she want to go, in my opinion.
Okay, so listen, Jedi, you are on campus with a whole lot of women. And I just want to know, can you speak to what E-Man just said about your relationships or your interaction with women? Would they be the trifling word, or would you have another word for them, for their behaviors?
Listen.
Okay.
You'd be amazed when the moment you wear the color blue, right? Folks just want to switch up, right? Let me tell you something.
Wait a minute. Let me just say this. I follow blue. So how can I say that? I won't be amazed.
No. Listen. Yes, it can come to good one, but it's a flock that comes, right? And I check these DMs, and you'll not believe that. I'm going to send Blackman Unfiltered the messages. I'll send it to him. But you will not believe the amount of it. It's unbelievable. Is he absolutely right? Because what it is that, they try to either talking to their girlfriends. Because listen, my girl right now, she got me before I had the blue, right? She went through the whole process of, right? So I was like, so when the week I got revealed and everything, all of a sudden I got all this attention, everything. You're the hottest thing on campus and stuff. And you know me, I'm not really like, okay, whatever, right? But the way what E-Man was talking about is absolutely true. The fact that they come up to you, right, thinking like, hey, you want to try to talk to you and stuff like that, or hey, they know to get off in a relationship. They come DM you about your problems and stuff, saying, hey, I just got a relationship with the dude from Kappa. So now, oh, hey, I'm going to go talk to the dude from Sigma, because the stereotype is Sigma men are the down-to-earth guys, right? Now and the stuff. But like I said, it's still it's the same spirit. And I'm like, when I'm looking at these conversations we have here, and I'm seeing you guys as, older married adults, and I'm looking at this from the infant phase of being in college. Honestly, it's remarkable. It's remarkable.
But listen, I got to tell you, this is the same. This has been going on since the beginning. So it's not anything different, because I know E-Man just said nowadays. E-Man, it's not nowadays. Women have been acting, and this is why I talk about this. This is why I distance myself from the single girlfriends. This is why I've been saying this for a long time. It's because we're not on code. And there is no respect. There's a lot of competition. There are some good women out there, though. Not all participate in this, but you never know which one is the one that's willing to participate. Yes,
and
yes.
This is what I want to
say from the Joker, right?
Wait a minute. Wait a second, Mel. Go ahead, Jedi. Go ahead.
This is a line from the Joker. All these, when the chips are down, these all civilized people, they'll eat each other, right? And this is good talking about, in terms of situations where, what things that who we really are at our core. When the chips are down, when we actually know, are we going to fight? I put a little pencil or knife down. And I say, all right, there's one man there, fight, right? That is, it's basically, it's like Mortal Kombat up in there. Honestly, just, and you're going down to see, who going out, and really we had the sleepovers. We've been friends since elementary school, tying each other's hairs and all this stuff like that. But the next time I'll be pulling your hair if it stopped me from getting this ring on this finger. It's
right. Yeah, I know. So listen, go ahead, Mel.
I have a little pushback a little bit with your ex and everything, because here's the thing. We get influenced by outside forces. You're still fully responsible for your own actions and stuff. You said it yourself that your ex, she broke up with you when you asked her why you broke up with me, and she said I was influenced by my friend. My friend told me to do so. But on the other spectrum also too, there's something you might have did that still caused her to make the final move to say I don't want to deal with you no more. You might not even realize it.
No, I disagree.
Yes, it is, because this is how women is. They give women not enough credit to saying that that there's them. Sometimes it might be you. It doesn't matter if you're the nicest person. Maybe you was overly too nice.
E-man, you want
But wait a minute though. But Mel, guess that could have been a problem, but he did the right thing by asking. And if she couldn't reveal it, then he has to go and accept what she said. She said it was
my point of view. I wouldn't even go back to ask your exes like that. You just have
that was something that he wanted. That was something he wanted.
That's what he wanted. But but the fact is, like I said, just like you said, she might not actually tell you the actual full truth.
Right. She might have not.
That's my whole thing. You guys accepted what she had. And this is my other thing also too. Did she
wait a minute, man? Go ahead.
Did she fight to take you back after she told you that? That was her reason? Because if she didn't, there's something more to it. But just accept the laws and move on. And I would advise every brother to do that. If you don't go back to your ex, expect some type of closure like that. Sometimes you got to accept things for what it is, see what you did wrong, and move on to better yourself so it won't happen to the next one.
E-man, can we tag team them together?
Yeah, let's get them.
How y'all gonna
you can't get me on this.
No,
so go ahead.
Come on, y'all. Let me tell you this right here. When a woman have no reason to lie, she tells the truth. Like she had no reason to lie to me.
You sure about that? You sure about that? Her actions already showed it.
E-man.
If she didn't fight to take you back after she said she regretted, sometimes a woman's not gonna tell you really what you want to know.
Let me say this, Mel. Hold on for a minute. Let me say this, Mel. Sometimes women are like this. We want our girlfriends to like our men. We want them to gawk and be like, "Ooh, that's your man," and all of that. And if she was like, "Ooh, E-man, I don't like him. He weird acting. He this, he that." A woman will leave you alone if your girlfriends don't approve. They will.
Exactly.
And they will build the negativity, a wall of negativity around him and influence her every day. Girl, you still with him? All these men that want to be with you still rocking with him?
Hey, we're going to
talking
concert. Does he have to come with us?
Does he have to come with us?
That's true.
You've been changing up ever since you got this man. Hello, you've been changing up ever since you got this man. We had girls' night and all.
Oh no,
come on, E-man. Come on, E-man.
Oh,
if you that high value, like you say,
let me finish, man.
Hold on, Mel, hold on.
This one can tell you this too.
Hold on for a minute. Kirk, what do you have to add to this? You've been married 9 years, but you know about this. What do you say about this, Kirk?
So one of the things that Mel says, and when he said that if you're overly nice to a woman, it can also cause your relationship to end. That's what he says, right?
Yeah.
I disagree with that to some degree. Like I said, it's the person that you're dating and the person that you're with and their mindset. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so take, for instance, from me and my wife, we've been together for 9 years, right? Like you said, first you have to build a structure with the person before you're having kids. My daughter is 6, my son is 2. You get what I'm saying? So we've been single for years before we start to having kids. You get what I'm saying? And I send my wife to college and we're still together. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So she went to college for 4 years and a $35,000 tuition. So it always go back to the woman, the structure, the man who you are, and the vision that you have as a man. You get what I'm saying?
Proving my point 100%. Right there. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Hold on for a minute, E-man. Go ahead, Mel.
I'm gonna tell you why. Key word. You set the structure.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
100%. You didn't notice that.
Right.
See,
that's what I'm saying.
Know when the dude's overly nice to them in a way like that too much, they give it to them without no expectations, no rules. Like I'm giving it to her just because she's just being in presence. And when I'm doing they don't value it.
Hold on for a minute, Mel. Let me just address something. OG Patrice and Miss Creative. This is not female bashing. We don't bash ladies. Now, if you're saying that simply discussing what ladies have done in the past is bashing, then y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong. I'm saying it. Y'all are wrong. Y'all can come up and tell me how I'm wrong. But if I say exactly what a girlfriend did and I witnessed her do it, me sharing it with you all is not me bashing her. There has not been one person has called any woman out of their name, said anything to the left. And I just don't believe you guys would say that because y'all are mature ladies and y'all know how this goes. We just call it like we see it. And I wouldn't even let them bash a woman, call them out of their names or say anything evil or wrong about a woman. No, but if my roommate was in there with her arms up over her head showing too much, then that's what she was doing. And that's what happened. If E-Man's past ex-girlfriend couldn't tell her why she left him, but for the reason that some other woman told her to do so, then that is what she did. There's no bashing in that. So y'all are wrong. And y'all are adult women. Y'all are adults. Now, see, listen, let's don't make what men say about us true. All right. Don't do that. Let's don't do that. Come and speak to who you are. And I appreciate that. And y'all know I do, both of you. But no, don't fall into the victim role. I'm not going to even let y'all do it over here because that's not how it goes. Nobody gets over here bashing no women. I tell women all the time. So y'all need to cut it out. There go to look, the link will be in the chat. I need y'all to hit it and come up and tell us how we bash or has anybody has bashed a woman. And y'all know that ain't right. Y'all ain't right.
Can I say one thing?
Yes. Well, hold on. We need Black Man to go ahead. Go ahead, Black Man.
Can you tag me in?
Tag you in? Oh.
Other way.
Come on, Black Man, do it again. Black Man. Go ahead.
So when we say, and I want to say this, the nicest way.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. Wait a minute. No, E-Man said women are trifling. And I said to E-Man, I need you to explain that.
Right.
And I don't think E-Man gave a true definition of what trifling meant. What we concluded what trifling was is that women don't respect each other and they're not on any kind of code and they will date each other's boyfriend. And that was the extent of the trifling. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get through talking, y'all. No, hold on. That was the extent of trifling. There was no definition given for trifling. I even asked. And what came out of it was that women don't respect each other. So listen, OG Patrice and Miss Creative, because y'all women that are smart. So I'm not gonna let y'all do that. No, not tonight. I need y'all to cam up and we can talk about it. Y'all know we can because I love y'all and I'm willing to talk to you. Okay, you ready? Man, you ready?
Let me define it.
So I'm gonna real quickly here, if I can. I'm gonna give you guys the definition of bashing. Definition of bashing in the world that we live in today. The definition of bashing is required or expected to justify actions or decisions or responsible. That's the definition of bashing, because that's also the definition of accountable. See, what we do is we don't want people, when someone comes up to me and say, hey, Blackman Unfiltered, I need you to lose 20 pounds. And I say, you're body shaming. You're not body shaming. You're holding me accountable to say I need to lose some damn weight. If you're stupid and you're trifling and you're talking crazy, you're treating men like this, you're treating men like this, you're doing men like this, and a man says women are trifling, if the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't, throw it out the window on 20. But we can't sit up here and start putting women and men, we can't start putting on the dress in the suit of what people are saying, and then we take it offensive toward ourselves. What we have to do is understand that there are some trifling women out here, and there's not bashing, it's truth telling.
But wait a minute, we still ain't defined. In E-Man's defense, we still didn't define what trifling meant. I asked him, what are you talking about? What is trifling? What he gave as a description of trifling in his definition was a lack of sister code. That's what I heard.
Can I define it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
So trifling is scheming and devious. Like deceitful. So like when I say scheming and deceitful, and I hate this argument, security boss, when we say women are this, they say he said all women. I never said all. And we try to put all to these
you have to be more specific moving forward, E-Man.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Listen. No, I'm with E-Man too. We need to stop being specific because just like E-Man is saying, when we say certain women, I feel it's this way. The old saying, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you feel that is you, that's directly talking about, then you must be what he's talking about. Because when I hear women talk about men, I'm not the man she's talking about, so I don't take it a certain way.
Yeah, so when I hear a woman say,
because I haven't read this definition, but Luke Casely is saying accountability is now called bashing. I think this is a question.
No, Luke,
Yeah,
that's not what I mean.
For the woman's half. That's the whole thing.
That was for me, Dale. That's for me.
Oh, right.
So Luke Hazley, what I'm saying is we are starting to use negative words to define truthful comments. And when someone tells us about ourselves, we try to find the first negative thing to try to cover what that is. If someone says, hey, Luke Hazley, you have a bad attitude, you're going to say, why are you bashing me? If I say, Luke, if somebody says, Blackman Unfiltered, you have a nasty, a potty mouth, why are you bashing me? I got freedom of speech. Like, we always go to a negative word to try to cover up what truth is. And what I want to say to OG Patrice and Miss Creative, you guys are the exception to the rule. And so you guys shouldn't even be offended or bothered by the word bashing, because that doesn't even fit. The bashing can't ride the bus with you guys. What we're talking about, there are women out there that put on this whole facade and they break down men. They go into, we've had Auntie TJ, I love her so much. When she was so transparent, she said she was one of those women back in the day that would sit back and look at good marriages and relationships, and she tried to destroy them.
Hold that thought right there. Listen, when you're coming into the live, make sure you're giving us the thumbs up. This stuff has just gotten good. It took a left. Now, OG, I know you're not. And Miss Creative, I know you're not either. So when he said the word trifling, it didn't even affect me. I just needed more context to it. So I need y'all to think you went. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to do this. We got to be better than this.
Let's ask the women.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on. We need this right now. Before I put y'all all in prayer. We need this. Tamika, how are you, Tamika? Sending love. I know we're missing each other to talk. I know, but one of these days we are going to connect. You know we are. Yes, are you going to Houston? No, I can't make it to Houston. Some new business came up and I'm not going to be able to make it. But listen,
I ain't going either then.
Listen.
I ain't going.
I don't see how we can do it in that short period of time. Some things happen. But listen, you get the money line song. Kirk. Now look, I know you in your truck. Are you in your truck?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you know how to make your shoulders move, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna hear the money line song, and I need you to feel it, right? There you go. Don't do it, email. There you go. There you go.
Give me mine. Going up, they know the kind.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, they know the kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Listen, that's how you have to do it. All right, Tamika, I thank you so much for that.
So, security boss.
Go ahead, sir.
The crazy part about it, if women in the chat be truthful, if they're truthful, they know a trifling woman. They know a trifling woman or have seen a trifling woman. So when we make these statements, we're not trying to say all. The only thing we're trying to say is that we're set up this way. And this society have set us up this way because men are the top 10% of men, we really have the 80% of women to go after. And usually the bottom 80 to 90% of women are typically going after that 10%. So if that man in that 10%, they're usually willing to do anything to get that man, especially if he's qualified, in my opinion.
So let me tell you why I asked you that about the trifling, because like I told you when I started out, that is an old term. And when we used to say trifling when I was younger, it meant like you were lazy. You didn't clean up your house. You didn't do things that you were supposed to do around the house. It had nothing to do with being involved with a man and all those things of cunning. It didn't mean that to us back then. So when you said it, I was like, dang, that's an old term. That's why I asked you, can you use a more modern day term? And you did not come with one. So I get what you're saying now when you explained it to me, but I need my ladies, my mature ladies that know who they are to represent and don't get caught up in what they know that don't apply to them. All right. So that's all I want you to do. I'm giving y'all a thumbs up. But listen, I got another super chat right here. Y'all ready for this? This is from A Senior. A Senior, thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. He says bashing, severe criticism. Or to criticize severely, hurling insults or verbal abuse of someone. Now come on, y'all.
Come on, Ace.
Going up, you know the kind. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine.
Yeah. So listen, Snuggle668 says, so are you saying that trifling back then meant cooking and cleaning? It was not done, was considered trifling. Exactly. That's exactly what it used to be.
The main trifling means
exactly what it used to be. So for him, yeah. So for a young man to say it today, I needed to hear what it meant today because I didn't think people still use that term. But you know,
it's the whole thing. Why they keep saying we bad?
They changed it. They've kind of changed it because it says in the Urban Dictionary here, sneaky, shady, Snoopy.
And out of
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
Here's the whole thing of why they keep saying we bashing this much since the 80s. And stuff. Women have had their platforms to say their side of the truth on men. They had the media, they had music videos, movies, TV shows, all that.
But guess what?
Men are now saying our side of the truth, or reality speak our side and stuff. And
but wait a minute, Mel.
This bashing.
But Mel, that's not really okay. I get what you're saying, but that's not how it is over here at SB Nation. We call it like
I know that, yeah. But you know, you got people, even when they, like I was saying earlier in the chat. Welcome to this part of YouTube because those who try to promote positivity is going to get attacked.
Yeah, you're going to get attacked. No, listen, but no, I'm serious. Everything doesn't apply to everyone. If we done something wrong, we need to be held accountable for it. But what these men were doing today, even myself, I was just calling out what I know women to do. I hate to call. I mean, that wasn't what I consider trifling. Actually, it was just a matter of fact. I have seen women in competition. Women sometimes want what you want, and it don't look good, y'all. It doesn't look good. And there's no code. There's absolutely no code. Oh God!
This is what's being promoted so much on social media.
Trifling, good for nothing type of sister. I got you.
This is what's being promoted so much on social media, especially with the celebrities. That this female empowerment got so high that you know what. We could do the game like men could do and have the same results, and we're always innocent.
I'm not letting you men off the hook. If y'all come out here wrong, you know I'm gonna call you on it too. So it doesn't really matter. But we're not gonna bash anybody though. We're not gonna be calling women out their name. We're not doing that though because I'm a woman and I do take offense to that. Ain't gonna be no bees and all that other stuff people be saying. You know, there ain't none of that going on over here. So anyway, getting back to it. Listen, guys, if you have just coming into the live, give me that thumbs up and listen, what we're talking about tonight is can you be too protective of your marriage? And I hope by now, because I've talked about it enough, if not more than enough, that you have to protect your marriage, guys. There's influences coming from every direction. You got to make sure that your foundation is solid or there will be some sneaky, I hate to say some sneaky links, but there could be some things happening within your marriage that you didn't anticipate on. And women, we have to be careful of those single friends because it's not that they're trying to get your man. I don't even believe that. I'm not even going that far. But single life used to be fun. Y'all know that, right? Used to be real fun. Married life is good. It's a joy. It's a duty. You're maturing. You're good. You're accomplishing things. But it feels good not to think about anything. When you're single, you ain't got no responsibilities. You just out there living. Nobody really cares what you do. Nobody's counting on you. It doesn't really matter.
And a lot of women out here are just waiting. They're waiting too long. Oh, I'm gonna get a man. I'm gonna get a man.
I'm gonna manifest.
Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna manifest. And then what happens?
The Lord will provide.
And what happened is you give those Subway cookies to everybody that come in there. You give them Subway cookies to everybody that come want some, and you heat it up and give it to them. Heat up and give it to them. And then when you want to be with somebody, you can't find the wine that you like anymore. So now you're subject to the wine that's on the counter at the gas station. And so
I'm just wondering how did we get to Subway cookies?
Because Subway cookies is a representation of the coochie.
Subway
cookies from McDonald's. How about that?
I happen to like Chick-fil-A's better, but anyway, I happen to like Chick-fil-A's. I'm just wondering how he got the Subways.
Because Subway cookies are left out all day. They dry. Don't nobody want them. They break easily.
Oh
so everything that I say has a meaning behind it. Come on, somebody. I ain't say the good cookies. I say you're giving away Subway cookies. The ones that break, they're not soft. You got to heat them up.
Okay, wait, hold that thought. You something else. Hold on. We got another. We have a senior says, thank you so much for the 99. He talking about sneaky links. Yeah. That's how I go. It sneak right in there. But thank you so much for your super chat, and you get the Money Line song, y'all.
Hey.
Oh, I gotta tell y'all something.
Hey.
I almost forgot.
Money line song then play for the day for the super chat.
Yeah. Mel. Yeah. Are you trying to count my super chats?
No, I said who donated the most as in
I don't know. But you know what? It's not too late. Listen, it's not too late. You could be the sponsor of the show. What you think about that?
When my funds get up, I will.
Mel, I give you a good show every time you show up.
Every time.
I'm in debt right now. I gotta take care of my debt first.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how you do it. You give and you receive. You give and you receive.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, exactly.
So listen, we're gonna take listen to this. We're taking a quick commercial break because I got to share something with you. I don't even know how I forgot to share this, but I'm gonna go back a little bit. Black man, initially when we started the show, I told you on Sunday, I hadn't been here for a while because I didn't even come to the show on Sunday. I forgot to tell y'all what I did. I did not tell y'all what I did, but I'm telling you now.
You didn't hurt nobody, did you?
We went to the New Edition concert with Charlie Wilson and Jodeci.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did, y'all. I thought I was 21 again. I was 21 again. Huh?
You was backstage with them?
No. I went back. I was right.
I didn't mean it like that. Like, you like
security ball. Did you sing security ball? Every time I close my eyes. I know you got something.
I was into it. I was going. Jay Prince, how you doing?
What's up?
Look at you looking like a pimp. Look at you, Jay. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Like a sausage biscuit on that picture.
Listen, let me tell y'all about the concert. Let me tell you about the concert, y'all. Y'all know everybody in there was darn near 50 or older, right? But when I tell you, when the music came on, look, we was 25. Everybody in there was 25 again. You should have seen them. They was going. Y'all, they had a good time. They were going all night. So listen, if that actual show is called Black Culture Tour, I think if it comes to your city, make sure you all go out and take a look at it. Black Culture Tour. It was very good. Jodeci was outstanding. I was so surprised. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to expect.
Casey's doing good after the stroke, huh?
Oh, did he have a stroke?
Yes,
a bad one. Listen, they all look good. They all sound good. I promise you they did. It was unbelievable. Now listen, let's go to what's the guy's name? Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson a little old. He said he had knee surgery, so we had to, go easy on him. Said both of his knees was hurting. It was kind of funny. But then we go to New Edition. All of them were there. They did so well, y'all. I had to tell you about that, but I could not miss it. That was back in the day when I used to listen to music, and it was very good. It was very, very good. Who's that just listening to Jodeci? Jay, listen, they were excellent. The show was excellent. So listen,
gotta get up there.
to go. So listen, I'm just wanted to share that with y'all. That's where I was this past weekend. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. And if it comes to y'all city, make sure, Jay Prince, thank you. Listen, you come over here, you're gonna know how to act now. You better be careful. All right, this is not late night live, but anyway,
she's protected.
I'll protect. Oh, he got the cane. So listen, we got a $49.99.
I got the paddle too. You want that?
Here. He says, "Shout out, E-Man wife back there with a broom."
That's my daughter, by the way.
That's your daughter. I don't see anybody. You got a. Your daughter. How old is your daughter?
She's 10, 11.
10. Okay. Oh, so she's a big girl. She can definitely have a broom back there.
Girl now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the money line song to get us ready.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, you know the cry.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, you know the cry.
Yeah. So listen, guys, that was good. But I wanted to now we're back now. We're talking about influences. But I wanted to share that with y'all because I forgot to do that when we first came in. But I'm just wanting y'all to know that influence is real. It comes from all directions. It really, really does, right? And if you think that, I'm just suggesting to you, I've been married a long time, 27 years this year. You have to You have to build a good foundation in order for your wife, in order for your marriage to withstand these things in this world. Hey, Aaron. Oh, how you doing? I got to sneeze. So be sure. I got to sneeze, y'all.
Got you. God bless you.
You have to make sure that your marriage can withstand these things. Or again, like Kirk said, you got to work at it every day. You got to be mindful of what is going on. You cannot just think your marriage is going to operate and grow. I think Mel, who gave the example? I think Kirk gave the example. He said you can't go to Chick-fil-A on Saturday and Sunday and take it no further. You have to go much further. So keep in mind that you have to build into your marriage and not allow these influences to take over like this, because it can happen. And we're playing games if we think it doesn't. So make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. And also, what was it? Another key point. Ladies, we love you here, but we got to figure out how we can be represented correctly. If we're doing some things, or if some things are going wrong, and women are doing something, or men, that is not correct, call it out. I would say call it out, but it's a way to do it. If it's your friend, let them know. If you see your girlfriend in there or talk to you about messing with her, listen, I have women now that are very dear to me that I know for a fact that are side chicks that are going with married men. I know that they are. And they try their best to hide from me because they know I'm gonna talk to them about it. So they be trying to sneak away. They know I'm coming. They try their best to get away. But I'm telling them, there ain't no benefit in being no side chick. What are y'all doing right now? What are y'all doing? And it's a deep thing. I mean, I actually asked one of them to come on the show because she doesn't want to be a side chick, but she in so deep, she don't even know how to get out. So again, we have a problem. Somebody allowed she shouldn't even be involved in that marriage, but she is. So how are we going to fix it? So that's what I'm saying to y'all. Protect your marriages, So who was it? Was it E-Man? Was that you in the middle of saying something? Yeah. What were you getting ready to say? I cut you off a while back.
I wanted to tell you why I came on the show from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
So the beginning of the show, y'all was talking about, can you be too overprotective of that? And I sent my first super chat. I was talking about, like, even I had to check my mother.
Right. Okay, you're right. Okay, I got you.
So this is why I came on to tell you guys that I think once you become one with your wife, it's your responsibility to protect your wife regardless of who the outside influence is. Mm-hmm. So quick story, I'll make it quick. So we went on a family vacation to Florida, right? My mother always have something that she liked to correct. She's more of a corrector, right? And I noticed that my mother was trying to start an argument between me and my wife. Like, it was like she was playing the middle field, trying, how like you try to get two people to get into it. And we was fresh in our marriage, so I knew how respectful my wife was, that she wasn't gonna say nothing because that wasn't her place. Well, it's just certain things she's not gonna do, right? And so I checked my mother on it. Sometimes you gotta use wisdom to make sure that nobody get in between you guys to be able to stir something up. Because in the Bible it says that the enemy sow his terrors and leave and go his way. So you got to do it right when it's planted, in my opinion. So I don't care if it's your mama, I don't care if it's your daddy, I don't care if it's your sister, I don't care if it's your children. You need to check it right then and there and tell them that they have no place to speak on things that ain't got nothing to do with them.
Exactly.
That's very good. That's very good. So I'm glad you recognize that, because you know what, me and Blackman also did a show not too long ago where we said what was most important. Was it or was there anything more important than your spouse? You remember that, Blackman?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that was, them in-laws was one, your mother or your in-laws was one of the questions. What's most important? Is it your spouse? So you're right about that. Kirk, did you want to add to that?
Yeah.
And it is one thing more important.
Well, we know Christ. We didn't go in there. I mean,
So E-Man, I wanna speak on what he said, because my mom had I told my mom to quit her job, right? And I had her living with me, right? And so most of the time she and my mom is home with the kids, right? Because, you know, sometimes she helps out with me and my wife go on dates and all of that. So I got the indoor camera, just like you said, E-Man, where I get to see inside of my living room. And so when my wife leave, the camera keep rolling, right? So sometimes it would send my wife signals or my phone. And so my wife opened the phone and overheard my mom telling someone else that if she had money, she wouldn't be here because it's kind of like she was trying to say my wife was like pity or watches everything. And so like he said, I had to check my mom.
Right.
And I had to I called my brother and I said, I bought my mom a ticket and I said, I think you need to go to Jamaica, sit for a minute, chill out, because like he said, whether I like it or not, and the whole discussion we were talking about, there's barriers and boundaries that even if it's your mom, your brother, your sister, you have to have that boundary put in place to protect your marriage, because my wife is my main foundation next to my kids. If I were supposed to die tomorrow, my mama ain't got no rights over my wife. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so this is where a lot of women says, oh, well, you know, that's why I want to date a guy like E-Man and Kirk, because I'm sick and tired of these mamas boy that just be flocking to their mamas, come on, and stuff like that. And so if your mom get out of line, you got to check her like everybody else. Not disrespectfully, but you really got to step in and be like, you know, we heard what you said. You said that if you had your money, you wouldn't be here. So obviously you're unhappy that you're here. So let's find you somewhere else where you might be happy. And then you can rethink where you want to go from where we're going to put you. You get what I'm saying? It's not being rude, E-Man. It's just that you are out of line. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't do it in a rude way. We just, you get what I'm saying? And I call my brother and now my mom is in Jamaica. But what I'm trying to say is that don't make me love my mom less.
Right.
I don't get bitter because of that. Because I know sometimes people get worked up because of their emotion. And I don't even know why my mom even mentioned the stuff she mentioned, because I'm the one that told her to quit her job.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm the only one that are bringing in the income besides my wife. So for my wife to be, you know, doing her thing and I'm doing my thing, and then you here complaining, then obviously there's something else that we can't fill that is void in or around you. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, sometimes you try to please people, even if it's your own family member, you really got to just distance yourself from people. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And sometimes even if it's your mom or your dad or your brother, your sister, you really got to do it. It doesn't matter.
So listen,
question.
Wait 1 second. Jay Prince, thank you so much for your cash, your $5 cash app. Thank you for that. And the link is in the chat. So before you say that though, E-Man, I had a thought and I just lost it. So before we go, I need to get about 10 more likes. I need about 10 thumbs up. Can I get that right now? When you're coming into the live, make sure you're giving me the thumbs up. I think we just shy of 100. Let me get some more likes and we're going to continue on with the show. We don't have too much longer because we got to go over to Blackman Unfiltered. We got another show that we're doing this evening. And I just want y'all to be there and know that that's going on. And I want all of y'all to follow me over there because he got something cooking over there tonight.
Big one.
How much longer do we have, Black Man?
You are muted.
30 minutes.
The name of tonight's show is Dear Jezebel, a letter to Jada and women like her.
So y'all, he's ending the night with fire. So what time did the show, how much longer do we got? We're going to be here for about another.
It's 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Blackman Unfiltered Network, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so guys, listen, we're going to be here for about another 15 minutes and then we're out so we can prepare for the next show. But I definitely appreciate you all for being here. But again, I want all of you to go over to Blackman Unfiltered as soon as you leave here. It's 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, So go right on over there, and we can kind of continue this conversation because y'all know what Jezebel is, right?
Ooh.
Right.
You know,
learn today.
she'll get in a woman. Listen, she real. Look, you call some woman Jezebel, you really bashing her, aren't you?
Yeah, that's working, but
that's real bashing right there. But listen, make sure y'all giving me those thumbs up. Y'all coming live to. You're coming into the live right now. I need the thumbs up. We're almost there, so make sure you're giving me those thumbs up so we can have enough likes. And we're about 10 away. So let's go ahead and get 10 thumbs up. So you just show y'all appreciation. All right.
So can I ask you a question, security boss?
Yes, sir.
So I believe this, and I can be wrong because I'm not a woman. I want to ask a woman this question. You have male kids, right?
No, I have a male. Well, let me take that back. I have a male stepson.
All right. So, well, you still be able to answer this question. In my opinion, I feel that some women feel that it's no woman good enough for their son. Do you feel that women, regardless of who some of these sons marry, that they feel that is no woman good enough for them, so that's why they might speak in these ways about their kids' spouse?
Well, you know what I don't think that is the case. I do think that I kind of think a little different about it, but I see what you're saying. It kind of looks the same. But what I think is that mothers tend to think that they have power over their sons no matter what.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's not that the woman's not good enough. They just think they're the number one woman in their life. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter about, whoever the woman is. It's just they think that they're number one. And that kind of happened. That happened in my marriage. But my husband had to straighten the situation out, but not every mother is learns as quickly. So sometimes you have to cut them off. And then you can come, you just have to be there when you need to be there. You just can't entertain it all the time. You know what I mean? You're still their son. You just can't entertain it all the time, because I don't know why women do that. There could be several reasons. Could be that they're single. They may not be in a good relationship. They may your mom might just love the man you turned out to be, know you're a good man, and just pull rank. She just pulling rank. And she knows better, but she also knows that she gave birth to you. And guess what? She'll play on that too. The first thing she'll say was, I'm your mama. I don't care how old you are, right? You a grown man. You have to tell her, nah, I got my own house over there. I'm going to it. So yeah, that I would never do that though. I don't think I would. I would never want to pull rank with my child. If I had a son and he was a good, productive son that took care of his kids, I would just be like so overjoyed. Just bring me the grandbabies. Just bring me the babies. Y'all don't even have to visit. Just bring me the babies. The babies is where it is. So
right.
I don't understand that.
Most women that really do that also too, it's mostly single mothers because they raise their son to be replacement husbands, to turn husbands.
I don't know about that because E-Man's mom and E-Man, wasn't your parents married?
They was married up until I think I was like 10, so they did separate.
My husband and his mother and father, they were married the whole time too. So I don't know. You may be right, Mel, but I'm not sure.
Most percentage of single mothers.
Yeah, you could.
Most of the ones I'm talking about are the ones that never got married, so they had babies out of wedlock. Yeah.
I've seen this too. I think all angles. I've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different angles.
The most powerful thing a man does is when he supersedes his parents, especially his moms.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right about that.
Let that moms know, I'm not the boy no more. You can't put your hands on me or discipline me anymore. I'm a grown up, just like you now.
I hope she ain't trying to discipline you though. That's kind of way out there. But hold on, let me get Kurt. Kurt, what you have to say about this?
I think in my case, I think it's a like you said, I think it's a power ego driven thing, because I think that the fact that my mom now have to like listen to it's like follow my wife house rule. You get what I'm saying? Like instead of us following all her rules. Follow her rules. It's like it's turned around where she gotta like follow our rule. You get what I'm saying? And I think that there's a pushback. That's why she said that if she had money, she wouldn't be here. So when someone say that, it's that resistant to not complying with what whatever order is set up within that household. You get what I'm saying? It's just like a child. If a child is living with you and they're a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and they feel like, E-Man shouldn't be talking to them like his daughter, she gonna be like, you know what, if I had my own place, I wouldn't be here. Well, all he's saying is that don't come home 12 o'clock at night. She don't want to follow that. You get what I'm saying? And so what's she gonna do? She's gonna push back and put up that resistance. So I think when it comes on to my wife and my mom is, instead of my mom being the one giving us orders and instruction and telling us what to do, right. and it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? My wife is like, my wife is like, Miss Pat, don't use this. Miss Pat, I'm going here. Miss Pat, you get what I'm saying? It's like, no, she got to be the one that, you get what I'm saying? And it's like, it causes a lot of problems sometimes. And
well, that was my main thing when I came into my marriage in the beginning. Remember, I said my mom hated men. So that's why we had to cut her off. Now, his mom was different. She loved me, but then a little bit later on, when she saw this thing was a little thicker than what she thought it was going to be, she started going into the power dynamic. But then
the power dynamic,
that's what she did. Mine was different. Mine hated. Hers was more of a power dynamic. But I want to get to Panderson. Panderson, how are you doing tonight?
All is well.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. You're talking about the woman, the mothers putting the sons over, like interfering with the marriage. Protect your marriage at all costs.
There you go.
Protecting your marriage means you value your marriage.
Yep.
It's not worth protecting what you're marrying for. My parents told me this. There's a lot of stuff they told me about marriage just in general. They're still together. Mom told me they got married in 19 and 17. My dad was 19, she was 17. He's the golden boy pretty much. There's 12 of them on his side. And my grandmother was super shady. His mom. Yeah.
Wow.
He was foul. Just absolute. But he was the golden boy. So she somehow, my dad's sisters and my dad's mom, when they were dating and married and whatever, is like, they say stuff. What he didn't know was when they get in an argument, something goes wrong, don't go back telling the family, man, can you believe what she done did? Can you believe it? Because now you're painting a bad image. Because all they're going to do is take his side. Same thing when you talk to your friends. They take your side most of the time. They don't get the full story. They're going to take your story because they know you, they like you, they trust you. So a bad image was painted on my mom. So she come around, they talk to her in some kind of way. And she's not the one for that anyway. But eventually it got to the point where she's looking at him like, oh, so you're going to let them, talk to me any kind of way? And he had to make a decision, and he chose his wife.
Right.
But other times it was like, straw one, straw two. The sisters was like, we don't think you're good enough for him. She's like, well, I'm sorry, but I don't know why we're having this conversation. He belongs to me. That's my husband. He doesn't belong to you no more. To his sisters. That's my husband. But eventually came to the point, they say some stuff, say something here, and he had to be like, look, man, that's my wife. And accept it or leave it. But don't come around here. Just know. And they're still married.
So
they had me, and that's going to change the world anyway. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I got a question for you all. So do you think that a marriage that where the individuals are not dialed in or
that's not a marriage?
That's what I was going to say. Do you think they would be able? No, I agree with you. That's what I was getting ready to say. Do you think they would? Do you think that they would pick up on these type of influences coming towards or against their marriages, seeing that they're not dialed in? Do you think someone could automatically do that?
Well, understand that most people now, especially in this place called the Black community, people are taught to operate as individuals. That's who we are. We don't work with the person to the left, to the right, the brother, the sister, the cousin, the neighbor. We don't operate like that. That's not who we are. This isn't being taught. So how do people, especially when there's 3/4, no marriages put together, now you add social media to put the knife into the dagger of the Black man.
Ooh.
How do you expect a woman to, when there's 15 different ears going in saying don't trust no man, or to where some platform was looking to the other day, I think it might have been KS, asked the woman, were you raised to be a wife or were you raised to be independent? She said, I was raised to be independent. He didn't even have to ask any more questions. If a person was raised to be independent, what do they know about working with somebody? And there's people in their 20s.
One thing I would say,
you don't, wait a minute,
in
wait a
the 30s
minute,
and 40s,
you
they
don't,
got 10 years experience of being an independent person.
yeah, but being independent for me means you can take care of yourself. What does that have to do about being in relationship?
Well, I mean, not the independent as far as taking care of self, but meaning independent, meaning not working, not nowhere in your mind do you believe that you're supposed to be working with a woman or working with a man. It's not even there. Then when you operate as such for 10 years, woman is 33, 36, never in her mind even thought, how do I operate with a man?
So you're saying
another point of view.
Hold on for a minute, Mel. You're saying that there are women out there that are not interested in being in relationships with men. Period.
Yes.
They don't want a man for nothing. Now, I'm not talking about a marriage. Just
they're interested in. Okay, here's a perfect example, and it's utter disgust. The women on that other platform where they're talking about putting red X in black male babies and all that stuff, these women are still getting bent over and they're single moms with kids, which means men are still coming around there and they're probably black. They're still dealing with men.
Okay, so wait a minute. You're saying that those
every week.
Okay, so those women don't want marriages, but they don't mind relationships.
They don't mind relations.
They don't mind relations. Okay. Well, you're saying as far as
with men and multiple men.
Okay, so let me say something. Let me say something to you before. Let me say something back. Let me go back a little bit. You said something about we don't have a community. Let me say this. I do know that there are many people who live different ways, but there are a lot of people just like yourself that grew up in two-parent households, what we would call middle class, that are black. What would you call all of us if we're not community? We pretty much think alike. We do things alike. We're upwardly mobile people. Most of us want marriage. Most of us live right, want right things. So what would you call the group of us if I would just say it like that? What would you call us?
Individuals working in small networks.
Why would you call us individuals working in small networks? What define that for me?
Okay. Trust is limited. People are selected, but it's not a default thing. Like if I go over in the Tampa, and there'll be multiple different Spanish cultures. Community means somebody from Venezuela doesn't speak the language. They come over here. Mm-hmm. They already know where to go. All they got to do is get here. Okay, here is your people. Here's your plan. Here's what you do. We got you.
Right.
All they got to do is show up. Where's my church? That one. And they already know what to expect. It's going to be Spanish people there. There's going to be pretty much it's almost like family. Their neighbors and community is stronger than we are with family. That's how tight they are. They work together. The HVAC guy already knows the guy who does flooring. They work together. They might switch each other's truck, or even in my complex right now where I stay. Buying a house soon, but in the complex, there's Indians. Multiple families living in the same building. Mm-hmm. A sense of togetherness.
Okay, so let me share this with you.
Default of how they live.
Let me share this with you. Let me share this with you, Panderson. In my community, there is a representation of us in almost every facet of commercial business. There is daycare, heating and air, real estate, security, teachers, nurses, and we all live in the same community. And guess what? Now, I haven't done this, so I'm not laying claims to this, but years ago when my husband's parents were younger, they were the ones that took in the exchange students or the people that the house burned down in Texas. They were the people that opened up their homes, and they weren't the only ones. Now I'm telling you, I didn't do it. I'm just saying that does go on. Now it may not be a lot of them doing it, but we are all of what I call middle class people that look out for each other, that have businesses that are upwardly mobile. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of other people doing other things that are not productive. I'm agreeing with you with that. But I'm just wondering where you're putting yourself, because I do feel like there are a lot of people like myself, you, Emmanuel, Blackman, Kirk, who are business owners. Mel, I don't know anything about Mel, but Mel lives in the city. But I feel like a lot of us are very much community. And it's not a negative thing.
I would say only express it in that types way. Of communities. That's why
I express it in that way for a reason. But go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, there's a reason I express different types of communities. That's why the one you're speaking of, I would say that's just like equivalent to why there's only like 2% of black people in the upper class. Whereas in the other community, it's more like a dysfunctional community, as we see so much of the time. Those who grew up in the project hoods and everything, that's like one part of the community. We have a thing in our black community that we take the dysfunctional thing so much and try to make it a positive, and that's the problem. And then we got some of those, like 1 or 2, that, you know what, I don't want this lifestyle. Like, you know, back in the day, if a man or woman become that successful one from the projects, but they make it out, they don't go back. But now they feel like they have to come back in one way, because unfortunately it's like they still want to keep it real with their people so much and stuff like that. And the other flip part about that is you'll probably be ashamed by the people you grew up with, but technically you don't want to go back to that lifestyle. So you get shamed of going back to the community of the dysfunction that you're trying to get away from. It's like
here's a question.
Instead of trying to grow with the new community of life that you see from the other side.
So, Dr. Patterson, before you do that, I need 8 more likes. Guys, please come into the live, giving me the thumbs up, just in case you forgot. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. We need 8 more before we get to 100. If you've already done it, I appreciate you so much. If you have sponsored the live for tonight, I appreciate you so much also. But I need 8 more. So if you haven't taken the time to do that, or you forgot to do it, or you just like me, just, you know, be coming in, just snooping and looking, ghost watching, I still need you to hit that thumbs up. Please do that. Now, Dr. Patterson, I hope you didn't forget. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I forget. It's honestly disheartening. Sometimes I'm not always trying to be so negative when I say stuff, but I say stuff because I have to make it be expressed, because some things aren't being said and need to be said direct.
Okay.
The people who people don't claim that are black, why aren't they claiming them? It's a form of success or judgment from people who don't qualify to be judges. How dare you date that white girl? How dare you go make money and don't give me none because you owe me because I was black? How dare you? It's a form of success when everywhere else they celebrate the success. So a lot of top 10, 20%, it was somewhere, I think it was Sage Talk, they were talking about the top 20% of high value men. Can we survive without them? It's like, why are they leaving? And the bigger reason is because they're having bad experiences with the people that didn't help them build, and then want a piece of what they built and want to dictate what they do. And they're saying, you know what, just no, I'm going over there.
It's a class
bad internal experiences on the way to success, where other cultures have bad experiences on the way to failure. They're saying, hey, you screwing up, get out my community. Produce or get out. You ain't Indian, you're not Arab. Get out of here. Go over there with the rest of them. Produce. Okay,
so listen.
You're doing shady business. Get out my community. What? You dating out? You worship Satan?
All right, so listen, guys. This is what's getting ready to happen. We're getting ready to go over to Blackman Unfiltered right now. We're getting ready to switch shows. We're dropping the link for it. I want all of y'all to go over there in just a little bit, like now. Blackman, I want you to go ahead and drop out and get ready for us. We're going to come over there in just a second.
All right.
And all of you, I appreciate y'all so much for being here. And if you haven't already, give me the thumbs up on the way out the door. But we're going over to Blackman right now. And I want y'all all to follow me over. Kirk, if you have not got time and you're not working, follow us over. And we're going to end this night over at Blackman. So we can't be late. There, Panderson, hold that thought. We're going to go over to Blackman. And I appreciate you all in the chat. I need 4 more before we go. I need 100 likes. So if y'all haven't done it yet, make sure you're hitting the like button. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your super chats. I'll see you in a minute. Good night, guys.
No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't sit still for a minute. I'm so dead set on indifference. Keep it Charlie, stay down with them Dickens. Let's get around like it's the 80s, right? Round, let's keep spinning. Let's keep playing these games that we don't want to finish. And I'm sorry if that sounds a bit bitter, but I am to the core. You want the whole damn thing, then you ask him for more. You want that old jive swing, you take up all of the floor. I'm fine with standing at the edge of the door. You be the life of the party, I blend in with the core. You drink it all to Bacardi till the bottle's no more. Let's take it back for this started. You want the love, I don't got it. Got my soul on the road. You screaming stay, baby please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to foe. It's so different with distance, we roam into zones where nothing get hurt anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher you off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in a daze, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Now you crying, and I'm trying to find the reasons. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.